May I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, please start.
Okay. Suprabhat and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Satyapriya Rai College of Education, a premier postgraduate teacher education institution. Welcome to its team guests, distinguished speakers, guests, invitees, and all the audience to the e-learning teaching strategies and teacher stress in post-COVID-19 session. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, the college has selected the theme which is very relevant to the present pandemic situation. Satyapriya Rai College of Education started its journey in the year 1967 with an aim to impart the country's best teacher training program, and at present is one of the best leading teacher education institution not only in West Bengal but also in India. I am Dr. Deepak Kumar Kundu from Satyapriya Rai College of Education and convener of the organizing committee of this webinar, and delighted to be your moderator today. So let's get started with the inaugural session. We are greatly looking forward to hearing the viewpoint of the eminent speakers who have joined this webinar, and I take this opportunity of introducing our speakers for the inaugural session. Our chief patron, Professor Soma Bandyopadhyay, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, West Bengal University of Teachers Training, Education, Planning and Administration. She has also taken the responsibility as the Vice Chancellor of the Sanskrit College and University, Kolkata. Professor Soma Bandyopadhyay Professor Soma Bandyopadhyay was earlier Director of Indian Institute of Social Welfare Business Management, Kolkata, and also Director of Women's Studies Research Center, University of Calcutta, and also Registrar of University of Calcutta. Professor Bandyopadhyay is also the recipient of Sahitya Academy Awards 2013, Prayag Sahitya Sammelan Samman 2013, Mirasiti Samman 2014, Aparajita, the People's Choice, awarded jointly by the Telegraph and Sanmarg Patrika in the year 2016. Also the recipient of Bhasha Samman from Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India in 2016. Rajbhasha Gaurav from Central Hindi Secretariat, Government of India. She was the Best Educationist Award in 2019 by P.C. Chandra, and also a recipient of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Great Wisdom Gem Award in 2020 for outstanding contribution in the field of education, democracy, and upliftment of the backward section of world community. She is also the recipient of SUSWM World Peace Award 2020 for outstanding contribution in the field of hostel of peace building, promotion of democracy, and messenger of non-violence across of the world community. Professor Bandyopadhyay is a member of delegation of Indian writers deputed by Government of India. She also visited different countries as delegate through University of Calcutta. She is the member of different professional bodies like UGC and members of different universities, and also member of various academic bodies like Sahitya Academy, National Book Trust, Paschim Bango Itihas Sangsad, etc. She is our chief patron in this international webinar. We have also our patron, Professor Bashav Chaudhary, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of West Bengal State University. Professor Chaudhary earlier was a professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering, University of Calcutta, and also the Registrar of University of Calcutta. We have our chief guest, Dr. Mohua Das, President of West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education, and also she is the principal of Women's College, Calcutta. She is the ex officio member of Senate and Court Council of all the state universities. We have our special guest, Professor Amit Bhattacharjee, Registrar and Controller of West Bengal University of Teachers Training, Education, Planning and Administration, and our beloved Dr. Subir Nag, President of the Organizing Committee of this international webinar and Principal of Satyapriya Rai College of Education, whose inspiration and encouragement has led this webinar a great success. I also like to introduce our eminent speakers who will deliver their lecture in the plenary sessions. Professor Nalunda Rai, International Studies and Asian Politics, Department of Political Science and International Studies, Georgia Southern University, United States. She is also the Board of Director, City of Savannah, United States, and Chair, Asian Committee, City of Savannah, United States. Professor Devasri Banerjee, Professor, Department of Education, University of Calcutta. We have also Professor ASM Firoz ul Hassan, Department of Government and Politics, University of Jahangirnagar, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Professor Abhijit Kumar Pal, HOD and Professor, Department of Education, West Bengal State University. We have also Professor Bijon Sarkar, Professor, Department of Education, Kolkata University. At the end of the webinar, vote of thanks will be delivered by Dr. Piku Chaudhary. Dr. Piku Chaudhary is the ICA coordinator and NAC coordinator of Satyapriya Rai College of Education. We are proud to announce that participants from 18 states and 2 other countries have joined this webinar, and we have received 180 papers. And my audience, due to this huge number of papers in terms of time factor, you don't need to present your papers. But if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box in your WebEx control panel. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will have time for questions at the interactive session. Once again, I welcome to you and thank to all of you for joining to share your knowledge and expertise on e-learning, teaching strategies, and teacher stress in post-COVID-19 session. So now I invite Dr. Subir Nag to deliver welcome address. Dr. Subir Nag is our proud, we have got as a principal. He has written more than 20 books published in national and international level, and he has written more than 50 research papers, both published in national and international level. So, Subir sir, please join. Talk.
Good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Very much audible. Very much audible.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Now, very good morning to all of you, all the dignitaries and participants. And I'm extending my gratitude to all my special patron and guests, Professor Shoma Bandopadhyay, our own Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bashov Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor of our previous university, West Bengal State University, Dr. Muhua Dash, our own governing body president and chief guest of our webinar. And special thanks to Dr. Deepak Kumar Kundu, who is actually working 24/7 for last 2 weeks to make this webinar success. And thank you all for participating in this webinar. And we are all aware, while welcoming all of you to this webinar, we are all aware that we are actually living in a challenging situation. And in this situation, it is created by a mutant variety of a virus called COVID-19. This is a corona group of virus. And it is especially dangerous because we are living amidst of lot of viruses. We are not actually bothered about them. But why we are so aware and so concerned about this virus? Because it is very easily communicable and it is spreading from one individual to another very easily and very quickly. And that is the main issue we are concerned, and the government also is taking it so seriously. And in this type of challenging situation, when we are all confined within our own And as far as possible, though myself and I know my VC madam also, we are attending our office occasionally because of due to lot of administrative reasons. But as far as class is concerned, it is actually suspended now. So we are not expecting our students and teachers to come over to the institution. But even when we are confined, all of us, learning and teaching cannot stop. We are still learning. We are still helping our students to learn through this digital mode. So we thought when we decided about this webinar, we initially thought this is the best opportunity to bring all these stalwarts in the field of teacher education together in one common platform, which can give us some direction, can do something about this new era where the school teachers, they are also taking this challenge, and almost throughout the day, late night, they are helping out their students through this digital mode. So this is high time when teacher educators with their own research capacity, with their scholars, and with all the feedback they are receiving from the various teachers, especially school teachers, and even teachers those who are teaching in college and universities in the higher education level. A lot of feedbacks are coming. So can we use all our expertise, all the feedback and the knowledge, whatever we are getting with the help of our scholars, students, trainee teachers in schools, everywhere. So we can do something at least, and we can discuss about the future pedagogy of our teaching system, learning and teaching system through this digital mode. We are facing a lot of problems, and still we are trying our level best to deliver and help, because all of us we are aware that teaching is nothing but helping our students to learn something. So can we do something concrete? And that is the main issue with which we have started this webinar. And we are really happy because we have got so many participants, more than 200, and many of them are international. Many of them are representing other states of our country. And we are actually, as our convener has already mentioned, that due to time constraint, we cannot allow all the participants to present their paper in this forum, but we are allowing all these abstracts and full papers to be published later on, which will be kept as document, because this is the really the challenging and the trying time we are passing through, and we hope that with the help and cooperation from all of us, some new research methodology we can develop regarding this type of digital learning, e-learning system to overcome all the limitations we are facing, our teachers are facing in schools and colleges and universities. With the help of our students, scholars, our co-teachers in different universities, colleges, schools, we can overcome all these limitations and can give direction. As even in the evaluation system, we have to do a lot of online assessment system. So if all these insights come together, we can give direction to our future generation, because probably this is going to be one of the future mode of pedagogy, and teacher training institution, teacher educators should come forward to develop this type of insight and the future pedagogy. And I hope that this webinar will become a success in this regard. Thank you very much, and over to Deepak to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, and we are eager to listen to her. Thank you very much.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of West Bengal State University, Professor Bashop Chaudhary, Chief Guest and Honorable President of the Governing Body, of Satyapriya Roy College of Education, also the President of the Higher Secondary Council of West Bengal, respected Mahua Madam, respected Principal of the college, Dr. Shubir Nag, guest, Professor Amit Kumar Bhattacharya, Controller of Examination, Vebuttepa, and Convener, Dr. Deepak Kumar Kundu, members of my academic fraternity, distinguished speakers of today's webinar, members of the organizing committee, and my dear students, I always like to address as the future champions of the education world. A very, very good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure today to inaugurate this one-day international webinar, and I congratulate Dr. Shubir and his team for zeroing on such an important and relevant topic as e-learning strategies and teacher stress in post-COVID-19 sessions. I have attended a number of webinars recently, in the recent past, and most of them were based on the subject like, the impact of COVID-19 on the education sector and like that. But I think this topic is very, very much relevant. As the 21st century upholds with its emphasis on global concerns and technology, an urge to reconsider teacher education is already felt, and especially when the teaching learning space has witnessed an unparalleled shift during the last 3.5 months in the aftermath of the worldwide outbreak of the novel coronavirus. Just as Dr. Nag has already mentioned, that this unprecedented crisis has mounted pressure on our teachers as well as the learners to make use of virtual space to continue their academic activities. On the 25th of the last March, the news of nationwide lockdown dropped like a bombshell for all the teachers and the students, be it of university, college, or schools. For a fortnight, it was okay. Like it was a sort of holidays for the students as well as for the teachers also. And they were happy. But when it was decided to continue it again for another 15 days, again another 50 days, I started receiving calls, emails, WhatsApp messages from both teachers to their students as well as their guardians, all inquiring when the university will reopen. As this was a crucial time for our education sector, like board examinations, school admissions, entrance test of various universities and competitive exams also that are usually held during this period. So, with schools, colleges, and universities shut across not only in India but the whole world, millions of children had to adapt to a new type of learning, that is e-learning. As a result, education changed dramatically. A study shows that all of a sudden over 1.2 billion children are out of the classroom. There was no other option but the teaching to be undertaken remotely and on digital platforms. With this sudden shift away from the classrooms, the academic world is wondering whether the adoption of online teaching will continue to persist post-pandemic and how such a shift would impact the worldwide education field. Now, needless to say, the pandemic has transformed the centuries-old chalk and talk teaching model to one driven by technology. Even before COVID-19, there was already a high growth and adoption in education technology, with global edutech investments reaching almost 18.66 billion US dollars in 2019, and the overall market for online education projected to reach $350 billion by 2025. Whether it is language app, virtual tutoring, video conferencing tools, or online learning software, there has been significant surge in usage since the outbreak of COVID-19. Now, in response to this significant demand, many online learning platforms are offering free access to their services, including platforms like BYJU. We have often seen, Shah Rukh Khan doing the ad. Bangalore is a Bangalore-based educational technology, which is now world's most highly valued edutech company. There are various online courses like MOOC being run through Swayam, digital e-content through EPG Pathshala, National Digital Library have accelerated hands-on learning through free open source software, etc. So we have seen that. Now, outside companies also are bolstering capabilities to provide a one-stop shop for teachers as well as students. For example, we have seen that LARC, a Singapore-based collaboration suite initially developed by ByteDance as an internal tool to meet its own exponential growth, began offering teachers and students unlimited video conferencing time, auto translation capabilities, real-time co-editing of project work, and smart calendar scheduling, amongst other features, etc., etc. Similarly, Alibaba's distance learning solution, DingTalk, had to prepare for a similar fraction. Now, media organizations such as the BBC are also powering virtual learning. Similarly, the Imperial College London started offering a course on the science of coronavirus, which is now the most enrolled class launched in 2020 on Coursera. My daughter, she is also attending classes of Coursera. Now, our West Bengal government has also taken a noble initiative by utilizing mass media, various popular TV channels, as well as newspapers deploying web technology. So now, what does this mean for the future of learning? While some believe that this unplanned and rapid move, online learning with no training at all, sometimes insufficient bandwidth and little preparation will result in a poor user experience that is unconducive to sustain growth, while others believe that a new hybrid model of education will emerge with significant benefits. So, however, there are challenges. There are challenges to overcome. Some students without reliable internet access or technology struggle to participate in digital learning. This gap is seen across countries and between income brackets within countries. In a country like India, there is a significant gap between those from privileged and disadvantaged backgrounds. For example, under our university, you know that there are about 478 colleges right now. I have spoken to several principals and teachers and found out that while virtually 60% from a privileged background, yes, they have a computer or a smartphone to work on, nearly 40% of those from disadvantaged backgrounds do not. Surveys conducted in even premier institutions like IITs or even in Central University of Ahmedabad reveals that almost 10% to 40% of their students could not access online education or learning materials. So, what I am concerned is that the pandemic has widened this digital divide. Yes, this is the word, digital divide. Yet we cannot deny that e-learning is heralded as a key tool to tide over students' concerns during this pandemic. So what to be done? A multi-pronged strategy is necessary to manage the crisis and build a resilient Indian education system in the future. Firstly, immediate measures are essential to ensure continuity of learning in government schools, colleges, and universities, and we have been doing that. Open source digital learning solutions and learning management software should be adopted so that the teachers find it easy to conduct teaching online. Although our teachers are taking online classes, are using several e-platforms, to reach the students. We are holding webinars as recommended by UGC, but amidst this sudden digital shift, the teachers have faced additional pressure of converting like all teaching materials to digital formats. And as some of them, they did not have, the required training to handle virtual classes also. So kind of, learning management software should be adapted so that it makes online teaching easier. Several e-platforms with reach across all states in India can be further strengthened to ensure accessibility of learning to the students. Secondly, inclusive learning solutions, especially for the most vulnerable and marginalized, need to be developed. With the rapid increase of mobile internet users in India, which is expected to reach 85% households by 2024, technology is enabling ubiquitous access and personalization of education, even in the remotest parts of the country. So this can change the schooling system and increase the effectiveness of the learning and teaching, giving students as well as teachers multiple options to choose from. Innovative mobile-based learning tools for effective delivery of education should be initiated. Thirdly, strategies are required to prepare the higher education sector for the evolving demand supply trends across the globe, particularly those related to the global mobility of the students and faculty and improving the quality of and demand for higher studies in India. Further, immediate measures are required to mitigate the effects of the pandemic on job offers, internship programs, and research projects. Fourthly, it is also important to reconsider the current delivery and pedagogical methods in schools and higher education by seamlessly integrating classroom learning with e-learning modes to build a certified learning system. The major challenge in online reforms at the national level is the seamless integration of technology in the present education system, which is the most diverse and largest in the world. We all know that 15 lakh schools and almost 50,000 higher education institutes. Further, it is also important to establish quality assurance mechanism and quality benchmarks for online learning developed and offered in India's higher education institutions as well as e-learning platforms which are growing rapidly. Next is that we also need to ensure that ethics and value education should not be left out. Now, anyways, COVID-19 has taught us that business continuity plan is a must requirement for all academic operations. And I believe that the integration of information technology in education will be further accelerated and that online education will eventually become an integral component of school as well as higher education institutions. So, corona or no corona, the teachers and learners have to gradually get used to it. There have already been, successful transitions amongst many institutions. Like, for example, just the other day, I went through a piece of news that IIT Bombay has already decided to run their entire, lectures online next session. Similarly, Tepa has decided to mobilize funds to develop high-quality e-contents, provide the B.Ed students with the same in near future. That we have to do. I think it's almost time. Even after this pandemic is over, I believe traditional offline learning, e-learning will go hand by hand. So I'm very much glad that in today's webinar, Professor Bashop Chaudhary, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Westminster University, is present here, is an eminent educationist and a great administrator. Our very own dearest Muhuadi, Professor Muhuwa Dash is there. She has been, heading our Higher Education Council of West Bengal very successfully over years, and both of them have taken many initiatives. So I'm sure that today their valued speech and the deliberations by our distinguished speakers today will definitely help us and show us a new pathway to success. And I again would like to congratulate Dr. Shubir Nag for his great initiative, and I thank him and his team for making me a part of their initiative. I wish this webinar a grand success, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you, madam, for elaborately discussing about the open source software and also virtual learning platform. We have learned from you learning solutions in India, giving you the statistics. So thank you again, ma'am. Now I invite. Thank you. Now I invite Professor Bashav Chaudhary, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of West Bengal State University. Professor Bashav Chaudhary is also constantly engaged in writing research papers. He has written more than 60 research papers published in national and international journals. He is very much, we know, he is very much tech savvy. So please, Bashav sir, talk to you.
Am I audible? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. It has indeed been great to hear Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay.
Good morning, sir.
West Bengal. Good morning, West Bengal University of Teachers Training, Educational Planning and Administration, who has so nicely elaborated the situation that is existing today before all of us. And she has also given a very nice roadmap for the coming days for the educators, how the educators can go ahead for coming out of this pandemic in the sector of education. So indeed, I was so pleased to hear that lecture, and I congratulate Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay for the lecture that has enriched all of us, and that has been really very good as a starting lecture. That has been an extremely good lecture. So Shoma Bandyopadhyay, I congratulate you, and I was immensely enjoying your lecture. So it was very good.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm grateful to you.
Thank you. No, thank you. There is there are other guests. For example, Professor Mohu Adash, the governing body chairperson, Professor Shubir Nag, Dr. Devashree Banerjee, Professor Devashree Banerjee, and many others who are very much known to me and who have shaped my career in the way basically what I am today. I could not have been without the help and support of all these people who have enriched me in different ways. So usually when Mr. Kundu asked me or Professor Kundu asked me how to introduce on to the audience, I said that the introduction is not important, because what is important is the content of the lecture, and I would like to tell you something about that. Dr. Bandyopadhyay has, Professor Bandyopadhyay, Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay has so nicely said that this is something, this is a webinar which is on e-learning and not on only COVID-19. Everyone is talking about COVID-19 and post-pandemic and what was there in pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. We have no experience about this pandemic. We have been really overwhelmed by the situation. We did not know what lockdown means. We did not know what this kind of unlock means. We did not know that one fine morning we'll be asked to stay at home and work from home. It was not our practice. I believe that the best way to impart education is to go to lecture hall, is to meet the students, is to see the students, their faces, to interact with them, to crack jokes at them. They will also pull your legs as a teacher, that your mannerism and your things. They will be mocked at. But the whole thing becomes a classroom, and the classroom situation is very important for a teaching learning process, because a teacher only does not teach a classroom. Students also teach themselves. And this socialization is extremely important in a classroom. This socialization is important because society teaches, and all of us are products of society. You talk about any country, the country's education system is basically the education system very much linked and organic with that particular country. So whatever we are talking about the education system, that is from our soil, and that comes in the classroom. Some are coming from rich background, some are coming from not so rich background, some are coming from privileged background, some are not coming from not so privileged background, and when they come together there is a fusion, and the classroom becomes that fusion, and that fusion is basically a laboratory, a living laboratory where teaching and learning process occurs. So that, for some reason, because of the pandemic, we have been out of that, and we cannot meet our students, we cannot meet our colleagues, we cannot discuss with each other or one another. We cannot visit our university or colleges, and it is a situation that is not liked by any one of us, as has been so nicely summarized by Professor Shona Bandyopadhyay. She has said it, that she gets telephone call and WhatsApp messages that, after 15 days, after 2 weeks, this isolation is not important. Now, isolation is really very difficult. Isolation, because anyone who goes out and who goes out to work, for him or her, isolation is an extremely difficult thing, and it is very difficult to really do work in isolation, because we discuss, we deliberate, we do a lot of debate, and out of debate a consensus is reached. So basically, teaching and learning process is not a one-way communication, not even a two-way communication. It is a multi-channel, multi-way communication, and through that multi-way communication, we learn, we learn our lessons, we we learn techniques, we learn different things. So now, the after this pandemic that has happened, there was a coronavirus kind of thing that was looking like a ball, and on that, just like pin, outside there were spikes, and they were all RNA, and that RNA virus was going and was sitting on your epithelial cells and was creating havoc. And people did not know what to do with this virus. This virus is having a great character. This virus does not kill many persons, just like the SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome virus. That virus had killed a larger number of people, but it was not infecting type. What is happening with coronavirus is this, that it does not kill many people. It is the maximum killing capacity is basically 4%. But the point is, it creates a large pressure on your healthcare system, because a large number of people get infected very easily. And that infection is extremely difficult to avoid. And that is why we are in a situation, lockdown situation, that I do not want to get infected. I do not want to also pass my infection to others. And we are now in a situation where we are basically self-quarantined or self-isolated in a way that we remain safe. That is basically the corona thing. People are working on it. People are working on vaccine. All of you know that vaccine research is not easy, because it takes time to understand the nature of the virus and then to find out the antidote. To find out the antidote, we have to do several things. For example, computer modeling has to be done, and then the structure, different ligands, how they react with the RNA thing and the virus. Those are some of the things that has to be studied. It is basically a biochemical reaction that will happen in the body, and then you will kill the virus, and you will not allow the virus to go out of control. It does very many things. It goes into your lung and creates a lung problem, in the sense that you cannot do breathing. It causes your loss of sense of taste, smell, causes skin infection, skin rashes, causes circulation problems, causes different eye problems, and many other things this virus does, and continuously mutates. There is 11 varieties now, and you do not know how things will change, because this biological system is extremely difficult to understand, and it is highly chaotic process. So that is what COVID-19 is, and everyone is taking precaution. I must tell you, the state of West Bengal has done an extremely good thing, extremely good job. And I must tell you this. I am really overwhelmed by the work of the respected Chief Minister of the state of West Bengal and all others in administration, everyone. Because India as a country has not considered its economy, it has considered its people. And the idea of lockdown has been that people's lives will be saved, economy may go at the backside. And this idea that Manav Kullan, Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Nirama, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. This idea, Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Nirama, if I cannot give good health to everyone, at least I can stop people from getting infected. This idea has been very good, and I have liked the idea. Even if economy is going a little bit down, we have tried to save our people in a very big way, in spite of the fact that this country is having highly populated with a large population density. The population density is very important, that we have a very large population density, we have been able to keep the death rate to as minimum as possible. And we must give our we must give our pay our gratitude to all the doctors, to all the healthcare professionals, to all the administrative professionals, to the law and order people, for the great job that they are doing. So that is something that must be said, and that must be put on record in this particular seminar. Coming to the education field, let me tell you, e-learning is the subject on which you are discussing. Now, does it mean that before COVID-19 there was no e-learning? There were e-books. People used to listen to e-books. In United States 20 years ago, people used to listen to music. I have personally seen those things, that people used to listen to music, people used to drive cars and hear books. So e-books were there instead of the normal book that we find in the college street market. So the point is, e-system was gradually developing. It was not that e-system was not there. It was not that e-learning was not there. People, everyone, I know Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay will agree with me, or Professor Mohuadash will agree with me. Everyone goes to lecture with a PowerPoint presentation. What is PowerPoint? This chalk and talk method, Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay has already mentioned. Chalk and talk method was replaced long back by the PowerPoint presentation. Now in PowerPoint, you are giving different things. You are doing making it interactive, and many other things you are doing with PowerPoint presentation. It was basically e-system, and e-system was present, and e-system was developing. But e-system did not come to the main road. The main road was still the classroom teaching, where we used to go with chalk and duster, and we used to write things on the blackboard, and we used to talk to the students, we used to look at their eyes, we used to get the reflections from that, and we used to organize our lectures in the manner that they understand. That was important. So this face-to-face teaching somehow could not be done in the last 3 months. And the way things are going, the way things are shaping up, we feel that in the coming days also, it will not be, or it may not be possible. And what is the guarantee that after COVID-19, there will not be a new virus that will not create this kind of pandemic? We do not know. So the point is, prevention is better than cure, it is said. It is always better to remain prepared for the worst. All people say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. What is hope for the best? Hope for the best is basically going back to the classroom and teaching the students. That is the best possible scenario. In my opinion, going by talking to the students, you get a lot of vibes from them. You learn from them. Whatever we are today, the teachers, only because the students have taught us. to me, the student is basically God. If the students do not come, what is the point in working as vice chancellor? No point in working as vice chancellor if I cannot really give encouragement to the student. We have to encourage the student. We have to enthuse the students. We have to give them enthusiasm. We have to see. A few days ago, one accounting journal took my interview, and they said, "What drives you?" I said, "My success does not drive me anymore. I was registrar of university, I was professor, I did something, and then I became vice chancellor. My own success does not drive me anymore, but the first generation learners, when they come to my university, they come with their head down. When they go out, they go with their head high, looking at the sky, and that is what drives me. That is what the purpose of a teacher is. What will a teacher do? A teacher must teach the student how to stand direct, how to stand straight, how to face the world. If as a teacher I can do that, I will consider my life to be full. And in that respect, I personally feel that that is the purpose of entire education, that you must give empowerment. How do you do empowerment? You do empowerment by teaching students, by giving them skills, by giving them life education, by giving them, Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay said, by giving them value education, by giving them technological education, value education together. This country is rich in value education and different other things, where you must teach them innovative spirit, because innovation is something, they must know how to innovate. Unless someone does know how to innovate, it is not possible to survive in this world, because everyone will not get job, everyone will not be able to work in the systematic kind of the system that we have worked. Point is, but the student must know how to develop themselves in this challenging world. So e-learning was there, but e-learning today after pandemic is gradually coming to the main road. E-learning is becoming the main tool for reaching the students. Professor Bandyopadhyay has said hybrid system. What is hybrid system? Professor Bandyopadhyay also has said about the digital divide, which is very, very important for this country. Now, digital thing, you go to Gangtok, you go further, and I am not naming the places, which are coming in the news. I am not naming those places. You go over there, and you will find only BSNL works, or Vodafone works, or Vodafone does not work. Means connectivity does not get established. When connectivity does not get established, then how will you transmit your knowledge? That is the challenge for the IT professionals today. IT professionals must give the students the connectivity and cheap mobile, cheap iPad, cheap computers, so that the students can do access to the materials that the universities will send. uh, 3-4 years ago, or 2-3 years ago, Higher Education Leadership Academy in TIS, Tata Institute of Social Science, they organized a seminar, and people from Pennsylvania, they came, Pennsylvania State University, and I had the privilege of going to Pennsylvania as a Fulbright scholar, and I knew some of them. I knew the person who delivered the lecture there. I met him in Pennsylvania. He could not remember me, but I remembered him, and I told him that I went to your office. So they were saying that in Europe there is a university which is operating from a particular room, and only a few computers are registering students, giving materials to them, giving e-materials, and the whole university is running like that. The whole college is running like that. Gradually, your brick and mortar structure of academics, that is going to be challenged, and when that is being challenged, jobs will be challenged, our system will be challenged, and we will have no other option but to go to this virtual platform. Why? Because ultimately life is more important, saving life is more important than going to the classroom, and saving life is more important than going to the classroom means that you have to stay at home and do your study. Just yesterday, IIT Madras, NIRF ranking number 1, IIT Madras has started a course on computation and data science, and that is a BSc course. and that BSc course is entirely online, and anyone can join that particular course. That means, see the shift that is occurring. See the shift that is occurring, that today we are no longer depending on classroom. We are gradually developing new things. And at this point, the teacher education is becoming important. See, the B.Ed course or M.Ed course, what is being taught? We have to go much further. Education. Education is basically a subject that takes into account mathematics, statistics, biology, new sciences that are coming, computation, and everything, science, humanities, philosophy, and everything taken together. It is not only doing little bit of policies of education and this and that. Education means, it is a all pervasive subject that will take into it all the different subjects together. So it is, the duty of the education persons, education teachers, to develop educational technologies for the small boys or big persons, teaching them how the different transmissions can be done. Even IT people can go there. And it is not just doing education in the way B.Ed is being taught. It is not that. It is not that. It is not that uh, that B.Ed will be only for private schools. B.Ed and M.Ed courses will be for the universities, and university teachers will learn how to give these new technologies and new techniques, and how to innovate. Innovation is something that is very important. You must innovate. You must do new things. Old class notes which are becoming yellow, that will not do anymore. You will innovate every day. You will innovate new things every day. Let me tell you one example, that when you are putting your class notes on your web, last year you put some class note, or this year you put some class note. If the class note is not improved, the class note is not perfected with every passing year, the same class note will not do. You go and you see the Western universities, and there you will find new courses being developed. New courses depending upon the new system that the society needs. Today, this society needs a lot of things on food and nutrition, because this nutrition is very important today to counter COVID. And if nutritious food is given at home by mothers and by parents, then you save your children. If everyone does it, you reduce the cost of medicine, and in this manner, you can save your earning to a very great extent. So, new food and nutrition. Next, security. Security is the next extremely important issue. Security, IT security is important. Someone is coming, someone is going. Gradually, the camera thing will be, already it has become important. Camera thing will be very important. Who is doing what. Although Michel Foucault said that it will be something like going into the privacy. But the point is, going into the privacy, I have full respect for Michel Foucault. But the point is, in private, in public properties, when you are trying to keep them in proper condition, or preserve them, that preservation or that protection will come. And if you cannot get security because of the COVID reason, even the security personnel also have their lives. They cannot come to the university or college to protect your building. So how will you do that? Maybe from your house, you are doing it through your camera and trying to see from time to time what is happening near the campus, whether everything is safe or not. Come to disaster management. What is happening in on the street down there. Is there any problem? Is there any problem about someone attacking some other person? Or is there the cyclone Amphan created a lot of problem? Whether disaster management, what is happening far down there at Sundarban? You are seeing on the screen. The Honorable Chief Minister was there in Nabanno the whole night, or 2 days or 3 days, to see what is happening and how the whole thing is being maintained. Now the case will be applicable for Professor Shubin Nag, that he will be at home, but he will look into his library and he will see. We need digitized books. And books will, if Muhammad cannot go to the mountain will visit the Muhammad. So I cannot go to library because the library has not been sanitized and the library is in a very bad condition and library is beyond reach. So what I can do, I can enter into the library through my e-system, get the books because books will be digitized. It has not been possible for all the universities and colleges, but in future, as Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay has said, that we have to take these paths so that our teaching and learning process does not stop. And this is something like an ocean where most of the things are not explored. You know what has happened? Geology as a subject has given us the tool through which we know what is underground, and we have taken the different minerals and different things. For example, iron ores and iron has been extracted and then steel has been made and things like that. We have not been able to go one thing that has not been exploited. Even the sky has been exploited. Sky has been exploited. You have seen the ozone layer. You have tried to repair the ozone layer. You have gone across the continent from one place to other place through aeroplane and this and that. One thing that has not been done is to really explore the ocean. So oceanography is a subject that will be important in the next 40 years. And this education thing, this technology that you are talking about, this will be important for the next 40 years. Very, very important. My question is, we are using Windows. We are using everything called Microsoft. What is Microsoft? Microsoft is basically a company in Seattle. I had the privilege of staying in Seattle for 2 years. And I have gone to the Microsoft office and I have seen those offices and I have seen those people. I have seen Paul Allen's house. I have seen Bill Gates' house. Point is, they are all United States company. Where is Indian company? Yes, we have Infosys. But the point is, where is educational technology companies which are developing and which can challenge Microsoft and develop its material, develop things on its own? So that is where educational technology will fit in. That is where educational technology will do. And education as a subject, as it is being taught, there must be a sea change in education. In education, you will have a lot of mathematics. Education, you will have a lot of IT. In education, you will have a lot of circuits. In education, you will have a lot of transmission across. And education will be a subject that will be extremely important. You are doing education. Education means, boundaryless. And this boundaryless education, this boundaryless subject is important today. And the initiative that has been taken by Professor Shubir Nag and his team to get this seminar organized on e-learning, extremely important. I used to say that when I go to buy a toy or when I go to buy anything, I do not see made in India. I see made in somewhere else. I am not naming anything. I am not naming made in USA or I am not naming made in China. I am not naming. I want to buy something made in India, equally good in performance. Equally good in performance, equally good in shape, equally good in packaging, equally good in looks, and also its efficacy. I want that kind of material. Similarly, in education sector, I need educational technology made in India, made by the education technology people working in educational university. Today we have West Bengal University of University of Teaching, Education, Planning and Administration, and we have a very able leader over there in Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay. So the point is, under the leadership of Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay, I would like to see someday educational technology being developed. And all the B.Ed colleges are being networked. Examinations will be done, and people will not go for engineering. People will go for educational technology. People will not go for medicine. People will go for educational technology. People will study education. Education, the way it is being taught, that bachelor BT, Bachelor of Training or something like that, training course BT, that became B.Ed and then M.Ed. That will not be the purpose of education. The best people, best students having the best possible biodata, best possible curriculum, vitae CV, they will come to education university to do educational technology, and they will make changes. Make changes there so that skills are taught to the students, ideas are taught to the students. Beautiful research is done by the educational technology people, and our educational technology, Professor Bandyopadhyay has said about the 350 billion US dollar or things like that. The market, that market must be captured by Indian minds. Indian mind is gifted with so much power. Indian mind can think so much, but the point is that mind that can work within the mind must explode outside and must match. So must go outside and hold hands and do something great. So I thought that these are some of the points that I would like. I thought I would cover. It has been splendid to meet all of you. I am saying now that we cannot meet face to face, but we can meet picture to picture. We cannot meet face to face because face to face is difficult because of this COVID. But picture to picture we can definitely do, as it is being done by this Google or WebEx or things like that. So this picture to picture meeting is also to some extent helping us to go out of our system, and this picture to picture is allowing us to be out of this isolation and to see faces and to understand, to appreciate, to know, to enrich ourselves, and in this manner we can develop new things. We can contribute to the world of teaching and learning process. It has been a very great idea. Mr. Nag, I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, all the persons webinar who are listening to my lecture. You have been so generous. You have given me patient hearing. Thank you so much. Even in this pandemic, you have been so generous. You have been staying at home, but you are joining and listening to my lecture. Thank you so much. And finally, stay safe. Take care of your health. Take care of your families, and please ensure that you do not get infected, you do not spread infection, and help stand by the people. That is very important. Finally, I would like to say that as a country, we love criticism. We love to criticize, and we do not like to appreciate. This is time to appreciate people. This is time to appreciate administration. This is time to appreciate the government. This is time to appreciate Shubin Nag and his team. This is time to appreciate Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay's effort. This is time to appreciate all of you for the good work that all of you are doing. Unless we all do good work, we cannot stand together. So it has been wonderful to see all of you, and I hope that I have been able to say something. Whatever I say extempore, whatever comes to my mind. So please excuse me if I have anything. Is the only way without which we cannot really proceed. Please develop educational technologies and come to the universities and sell your products, and not only help us in creating the technologies, but also be extremely good entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bashav Chaudhary, for elaborately discussing about overall idea about the e-learning teaching strategies platform. Professor Bashav sir, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, Deepak sir. Soda
Okay.
Madhu sir, please mute yourself. Soda Madhu, please mute. Don't unmute. Deepak sir, please continue.
Okay. Professor Bashav sir has elaborately discussing about the e-learning teaching platform and also the present pandemic situation, the effect of the lockdown. Also, we have learned from him about the Sukani Ubuntu, and also he has stressed about the e-books, digital library, especially during the present situation and also after the COVID-19. One thing Bashav sir has told that education is not a single platform, but it's a multi-channel platform it is very real picture, sir. And he also praised and mentioned the role of teachers in the tech-oriented teaching learning platform. So thank you, Basav sir, again. Now I invite Dr. Moha Das, President of West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education, and also she is the Principal of Women's College, Calcutta. So please, Moha Madam, sir, Madam, please talk.
Okay, I have an overview.
To all of you, Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay for her very nice deliberation, and Professor Bashuk Chaudhary, both the Vice Chancellors. They have given their very wise views in this post-COVID time, which is quite inspiring. And I was listening to your concept, your discussion, which were really very much pragmatic, I would say. So also I would like to thank Professor Shubhi Nag, the principal of the college, for taking this initiative, a very noble initiative indeed. And also Professor Deepak Kundu, who is the convener of this webinar, and all other guests and invitees and audience who are giving their patient hearing to our whatever deliberation we can have today, our own views, our own stands, etc. Now, this COVID-19 has affected the whole world in a very, very worst way. The education sector especially has been affected worstly with a longer period of lockdown, as Shoma was telling. Repeatedly and frequent lockdowns have really crippled our lives. Then disruption of studies, breakdown of systematic academic curricula and extracurricular activities as the schools are off. The institutions are locked, and the students are quite depressed and frustrated, not meeting with their friends, their teachers, the school surroundings, not being able to enjoy the school environment. Now, gradually, I would sound a little negative by saying that with the COVID patients getting into the ventilation, our schooling system is also slowly getting into the ventilators with the support system of e-learning, e-teaching, which were the support system till date. But now they're acting as ventilators to our education system. Because, they are now e-learning, we have to depend fully for our academic activities. And in order to combat the threat of this pandemic, we have to depend more and more on the online process of education, the mass interaction, and innovating and inventing different types of e-learning and teaching systems. For this, there are some things required. This has to ensure educational material online, which is very much a welcome situation. Even in the yesterdays, we were very much accustomed to deal with such distribution of e-materials and to give it to our students who are not attending to their classes regularly. It was a good alternative indeed. Now, second thing is lecture and interactive discussion. The studies, the surveys, through, as Shoma was also telling, that the PowerPoint, the audio-visual slides, etc., coming up as tools for virtual classrooms. These were there very much. Even the movies were shown in the classrooms to PG and UG students to inspire them. And there were live sessions also, interactive sessions. This was for a mirthful and enlivening situations created virtually in the classroom and off the classroom to entertain the students. This was just this very innovative skill set, that pedagogy, and also the students were learning how to operate with the gadgets, how to interact through the medium of computers, and also the different gadgets thereof, like printers, the internet connectivity, etc., etc. They have to learn, and unless they learn it properly, they can't. They are not savvy with the devices. They can't take the fun of it. So this was one thing which was going side by side with the personal interaction, the live classroom sessions, where they can see the role models amongst their teachers who are inspiring them to be the teachers in future. So unless there is this situation created that generation wise, we see the students are inspired by their teachers to become, they take this profession. The fraternity of teachers are mostly inspired by their teachers, and they teach in a pattern and they inspire the students. It's a generation wise practice. So this is not present in this particular line of action. And e-learning, e-teaching, etc., are not efficiently done, cannot be efficiently monitored if one is not IT enabled. So this is one thing. It's a negative side, I would say. Of course, it has its positive sides, which we have already learned through this vice chancellors talking on this. And there are so many, uh, inspiring things, so many learnable materials that they talked. Actually, we came to know. But there are some, being the president of the Higher Secondary Council, I have come across some of the things which are not so easily uh, practicable. You know, when we have to reach out to the students of the remote corners, the remote villages, we can't reach out to them so easily because they don't have the gadgets, because they don't know how to operate the computers. And there is a feeling of discrimination amongst the students, especially the students of the private institutions and the students of the government institutions who are not properly equipped with these gadgets. Even the teachers are not properly trained to operate these gadgets. So of course, there is a gap, an intermission between the two. So that is what is very much worrisome for the teachers, how to reach out to the students across the country. We cannot deal with a particular segment of students or teachers who are quite competent to deal with this. So pedagogy, in one sense, is getting partial, is getting discriminative, what I want to say. So I have to deal with the government institutions, the government schools, so that this stark difference is, which is what is very much noticeable, and I cannot just accept it in this way. Lot of companies are coming ahead to business in this line, like Shoma was again telling about the Baiju's. There is one on the TV appearing every day almost with their lesson plans, Vedantu. So all these e-tech companies are coming forward to offer their courses, and online courses are, you pay and you learn. All these things are there, but you mix the classroom vitality. You mix with your students. You chat there. You get punished. You get rewarded. Everything is very, very much personal and very, very much touching. So these things are absent. This is also a quite worrisome matter. Training and orientation of webinar and meetings is just an innovative path. It's not taken its full shape as yet. It is what should I say? After the COVID attack, the society is suddenly pregnant with this new idea of more and more learning and more online way of teaching, etc. Now it has given birth to this new technique of education, which I'm afraid is is a method which helps to decline the offline mode of education very swiftly. And now a trend is going to come where more and more teachers and students will be sticking onto this without going to their institutions and the institution which are full of, lively vibrance of youth, noise, and their vibration, their, what should I say, their uh, teaching, learning, the flavor of their vitality, etc. We are going to miss out on these things, and both of us, both the parties, the teachers and the students, they have a very, very uh, the thing is not very welcome situation for both the teachers and students. We are disappointed, very, very disappointed in this course of things happening. This has got, I would say, yes, this has got a support system to the education at large, worldwide. When we talk across the country, we talk across the state, across the institutions, we share the libraries, e-library concept. Rather, we go back to the very colloquial when we used to say our grannies used to say e-school. So we would be happy to get back to that e-school. E-school means a school which is equipped with all gadgets, with all the computerized smart classes, and the teachers enjoy the smart class interaction with the students. And what about the practicals? You just think about the practicals. When you take up medicine, you want to become a doctor. You take up engineering, you want to become an architect or a structural engineer. You have to be very much present in the practical classroom. So you can just show some slides on the webinar on online classes. But what about the practical handset, skill set? The government of India is talking about the skill development almost each and every day, repeatedly, frequently, so that the skill set is grabbed by the student, and the employers of these days, they are now looking at students or candidates or job seekers who have this skill development, skill specific competency along with multitasking. So multitasking is one thing which the employers, the job seekers, both are trying to get practiced of for the sake of better employment, better opportunities. But when we do not have any experience to handle the practical classes, we don't know the machines, we don't know how they work, only the pictures, the slides. So how can we be able to adapt those skill sets and to practice it in our own career for further development, and especially in science and biology? It's like telemedicine, neither the doctor nor the patient, both are fully satisfied. They're satisfied because this is the alternative. When you consult a doctor, which is maybe from abroad, then this is the only way. Telemedicine is the only way. But the thing is, it's not the fullest. It doesn't give you the fullest satisfaction at once, because you don't see the doctor live. There's no live interaction. He cannot check your problem in a practical, physical way. So there is always a feeling of darkness in the course of this kind of thing. Virtual things, all the virtual things, the virtual world, etc. It sets us in a typical different layer of society, which is very much impersonal, and our socialization process is also affected by the course of time, and we see the depression, etc., frustration among the students, and the teachers are engulfing them. So this kind of thing has got certain drawbacks and demerits. I'm lighting upon those things which are not yet told, which are really we are experiencing this course of time with all its benefits. I also must mention the dark and negative side of the entire process. So sometimes this skill set is one which we are missing, and also the problem of technical snags like power failure, the connectivity problem. These things are always there. So when we are in full swing, we are talking or we are on a chat. There are tools like G Suite, the Google Meet, the G Suits and the other things are there, where we can share our chats, our views, but suddenly there is a technical snag and everything is upset. So these are the things ultimately which spoils the spirit of effective teaching learning process. And I won't prolong my discussion because I have to go out for a certain council meeting. But I would like to throw light upon these issues, and I would expect the honorable scholars and professors
Madam.
present there to give the solutions to these questions also. I don't know, it's not possible. I know it's not possible to offer solutions so fast because it's a course of innovation. It will unfold itself day by day. But the thing is, we expect it to be a support system, the way it was in the previous years and in the pre-COVID situation. We would expect it to be like that. Otherwise, our education, our skill set, our interaction with our most favorite students, to groom them, to the teacher's task is to identify the skill of the student. If the teacher and student, they do not meet each other, how the teachers will be able to identify the quality and the fault of the student and to guide them accordingly. The value-based education, the discipline system, everything, it can't be taken in that way inside the home. So the way it is handled in the schools, the institutions, the colleges. So where is the canteen? Where is the fest? All these things have to be, when taken together, there is no alternative to school and institutional teaching. So this is only offline support during emergency for a change, and for, of course, it's a revolution, technical revolution, which is spread all over the world, but by default in the post-COVID era, and we are coming across to talk to each other. This is, of course, an area of great interest for all of us. But the thing is, it's not for the very, very beneficial to the students, for the academic world altogether. So I would like to finish my short discourse over here. I don't know whether I mentioned some important points or not, but what I felt in course of my role in the secondary council as a principal in college in the educational sector, there is a real vacuum created all over, and we are very, very restless to come out of this situation as soon as possible. Thank you, all of you, and very, very my special thanks to Shubir and Deepak for organizing this webinar. You have taught us a lot how to. This was my first webinar, and I must congratulate you to give me a chance to talk on this. And this was a great experience for me. And I think for many of, like me, many other people will be there to get the experience of this kind of webinar. It is a very sound one, and with all the very good academic persons in the panel. So I thank all of you, and good luck, best wishes. Thanks.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Mohammadas has given idea about the alternative way of face-to-face learning, and she has emphasized the benefits of both on the classroom and off the classroom. One thing we have learned from her, that e-school with all the facilities of gadgets and smart class. So thank you, madam. Now I invite Professor Amit Bhattacharya, the Registrar and Controller of Examination, West Bengal University of Teachers Training, Education, Planning and Administration. So please, Amit sir.
Hello.
You are audible. Audible, sir. Audible. You are audible. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Vice Chancellor, West Bengal University of Teachers Training, Education, Planning and Administration, Professor Dr. Shoma Bandopadhyay, Honorable Vice Chancellor of West Bengal State University, Professor Bashok Choudhury, respected chief guest, Dr. Mohan Das, dear President of this webinar, Dr. Subir Nag, convener and listeners, and above all, my distinguished teachers. Principal Dr. Subir Nag, Satyapriya College of Education, requested me over telephone to join in this international webinar, and I agreed in spite of my busy schedule. Really, I am very pleased and proud to have been invited. At the outset of my speech, I would like to quote a famous line of T.S. Eliot. Where is the life we have lost in living? Fantastic. We are living, but we have no life. At present, we are engulfed by fear, fear of disease, fear of corona, being perplexed and fearful. We can't be able to perform our duty perfectly. Like Arjuna, as we see in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we also are telling in front of Lord, Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. We have had a prayer, oh God, try to lead us from darkness to light. But sorry to say, situation compels us reverse. We are groping in the dark. Doctors, scientists are puzzled. No one knows what will be, how long this dark period is. Freedom of movement is restricted, which is vital for individual growth and development. During our college life, we are taught untouchability is an invention of devil. Now it becomes a boon. No student can sing, touch me, touch me, touch me. Secondly, we are taught in our political science for the people, but this aphorism has been converted to for the people. If one maintains untouchability, if one maintains the theory of for the people, irrespective of caste and creed, he or she will survive. I can apprehend the horrible condition of the younger generation. My dearest students, due to lockdown, students are more or less depressed. But I can emphatically say that we, the teachers, are beside all of you to eradicate melancholies. Don't be depressed. Do not care less about learning. It is advised in our Upanishad, Sadhaya pravachanabhyang na pramoditavyam. You see, the nice meaning of this scripture. Do not be careless about learning and teaching. It is essential for both the teacher as well as the students. And I think that this is a high time for the cultivation of the inner life. It should be kept in mind that more important than the curriculum is a question of the methods of teaching and the spirit in which the teaching is given. Since the dawn of civilization, we had a universal model of learning, and the models had 4 parts. Number 1, process of learning. His perception, inference, experimentation, influence, verbal knowledge, etc. So many things there are in the process of learning. Number 2, object of learning, and it is called prameya. Physics, chemistry, mathematics, psychology, so many objects we have. Number 3, learner. Who is learning? Who is acquiring knowledge? I myself, the teacher himself, and it is called pramata, learner. And at last, pillar number 4, consequence of learning, the impact of learning, shikshaya phalam. Actually, the purpose of our life is to know and to learn. But who will learn? How do we learn? What do we learn? And lastly, what is the result of our learning? These 4 vital questions are discussed by the great master Vatsyayana in the 4th century AD. And we, the teachers, are following the same method. along with idealists, realists, and materialists too, have accepted this model. This is to add that in process of learning, e-learning has been incorporated in the present system of education. Electronic learning method or online learning method or virtual learning, so far I think, cannot be substitute of traditional teacher-taught education system. Although it is very powerful tool to provide the learner with all the things he or she is willing to learn at his own self-pace. It has become very popular at present, and in the Western countries, its popularity is unparalleled and unique. But in the developing countries like India, it is very, very shocking to say that we have not yet been able to keep pace with the Western counterparts. We have been trying. I am convinced that at present, only small number of students who are living in a city and a district town, they can make a profit out of e-learning system of education. Many students who could not attend online classes due to lack of smartphone, laptop, and computer commit suicide. We are deeply hurt in saying so. In spite of such hurdles, during lockdown period, we did not have any other way to reach in front of the students except e-learning. Principal Dr. Subir Nag, Satyapriya College of Education, apprehending the crisis, has organized this webinar in proper time. Best wishes to him and his colleagues. Now, I would like to conclude in saying that the listeners who are listening, thanks to them, Mama Bhaktapyam Sravanaya Sarvebhyo Satribhyo Hardikam Abhinandanam Antarikam Abhinandanam Pradiyate अस्मिन्नेव सत्यप्रिय राय इति महाविद्यालये गमनाय मम अभिलाषोऽस्ति अवश्यमेव यदा समयः आगम्येत तदा गमिष्यामि सर्वे सुखिनः सन्तु May all of you be happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Wish to meet you very soon. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Amit Bhattacharya. Professor Amit Bhattacharya has given an important message to the students that don't be depressed and we will eradicate all the constraints and barriers. He has given a few new ideas and terms like pro-mocha and consequence of learning. So, thank you, Amit sir. Now we end the inaugural sessions. On behalf of the Satyapriya College of Education, again thank VC Madam, Soma Madam, VC Professor Bashav Sir, Amit Sir, Moa Madam. Again, thank you. Now we turn on to the plenary session. But due to the time constraint and network problem, our first speaker in the plenary one session is Dr. Nalanda Rai. She is a Professor of International Studies and Asian Politics, Department of Political Science and International Studies, Georgia Southern University, United States. She is also the chair, Asian Committee, City of Savannah, United States. But due to the network problem, she couldn't deliver her lecture on live. So a recorded version of Dr. Rai's lecture being okay. হ্যালো সুজন, রোলটা চেঞ্জ করো, রোলটা চেঞ্জ করো।
হ্যাঁ, রোল আছে আপনার স্ক্রিনে, আপনি মিউট করুন।
হ্যাঁ,
Share content. Okay. সাউন্ড আসছে না। রাইট ক্লিক করুন। আসছে না। অপটিমাইজ করেছেন? অপটিমাইজ ভিডিও
অপটিমাইজ করেছিস? Switch to desktop app বলছি কেন? Cannot view media file.
Savannah, Georgia.
আমার তো ইম্পর্টেন্ট না, তোর কি important? ও আচ্ছা, আমার আসছি না।
I'd like to thank the distinguished guests and speakers who, all of us sharing the same platform. So thank you for being a part of this initiative, a very, very important initiative and a very, very important topic for discussion, especially these days. I would also like to thank Dr. Shubhi Nag, Principal, Satyapriya College of Education, and convener, Dr. Deepak Kumar Kundu. So thank you so much, Dr. Kundu, for your patience and going back and forth. And it was a lovely conversation we had a few days ago. So here I am in front of you, and again, let me apologize because of the time difference. I couldn't be with you, at the webinar personally, but here I am. So again, as I said, distance is not a problem, and I'm just an email away. So I will share my email with all of you. I decided, at the last minute, why not have a PowerPoint? And this is a very informal sort of presentation you'll see in a while coming from me. So I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, collaborate, if you want to collaborate, talk, discuss. So I'll share my email address with you, and please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help in any way possible. So teaching strategies and teacher stress in post-COVID-19. This is very important. This is, I feel myself to be so well connected to this theme. And the moment I heard that, Dr. Kundu approached me, I said, yes, why not?
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Elearning. Greetings from Savannah, Georgia. Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here today. And thanks to technology, the distance is not a problem at all easy, it looks like, especially in the post-COVID situation right now. First, I would like to thank all the distinguished guests and speakers who all of us sharing the same platform. So thank you for being a part of this initiative, a very, very important initiative and a very, very important topic for discussion, especially these days. I would also like to thank Dr. Shubhi Nag, Principal, Satyapriya College of Education, and convener, Dr. Deepak Kumar Kundu. So thank you so much, Dr. Kundu, for your patience and going back and forth. And it was a lovely conversation we had a few days ago. So here I am in front of you, and again, let me apologize because of the time difference. I couldn't be with you, at the webinar personally, but here I am. So again, as I said, distance is not a problem, and I'm just an email away. So I will share my email with all of you. I've just I decided, the last minute, why not have a PowerPoint? And this is a very informal sort of presentation you'll see in a while coming from me. So I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, collaborate, if you want to collaborate, talk, discuss. So I'll share my email address with you, and please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help you in any way possible. So, teaching strategies and teachers' threats in post-COVID-19. This is very important. This is, I feel myself to be so well connected to this team. And the moment I heard that, Dr. Kundu approached me, I said, yes, why not? We are in a different world right now. And let me start my presentation with a quote, two of my favorites, all-time favorites. It is very simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple. So true. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, right? So, the kind of emotional outbursts that we are going through these days, the dramatic changes happening, transformative ways, things are taking shape around us. How do we remain simple? How do we remain happy, right? These things are constantly, we are facing these challenges. We're constantly asking ourselves this question, what should we do? How we can make our life simple, how we can do things that can help others, kind of bring compassion, connectedness within society, right? And of course, Albert Einstein, if you want to live a happy life, tied to a goal, not to people or things. So true, so true. So, what is our goal right now? And if you just kind of switch between the two chords, you will see the current goal for us right now is to be safe, to be simple, to be happy, the connectedness within society. And of course, Albert Einstein, if you want to live a happy life, tied to a goal, not to people or things. So true. So what is our goal right now? And if you just kind of switch between the two chords, you will see the current goal for us right now is to be safe, to be simple, to be happy, correct? Because right now, the entire world, all of us are in, it's like shambles, right? We are shaking right now. We are going through this COVID-19 pandemic, the challenges in every aspect of our lives. So whether it is social, emotional, financial, community, education, doesn't matter. Each and every aspect of our lives, right, feel affected. And all of us are in these together. So that's a very important thing. If you just give it a moment, close your eyes and think that all of us are in this together. So that gives you kind of strength to overcome the obstacles, to overcome the hardships, to overcome the difficulties, right? And today is the theme of our seminar, talking about the stress, the trauma of teachers, professors, We talk about our families, we talk about our students, we talk about schools, colleges, we talk about everybody. What about us? So you, I, all of us, we constitute and call it a sense of that feeling, a sense of togetherness. Who's talking about the professors? Who's talking about the teachers? What are the different stress levels or anxiety levels we are going through every day, correct? So what is the scenario right now for the past few months? everywhere, in India, in the United States, everywhere, lockdown situation, schools closed, we have been asked to go completely online, we are scrambling to adapt to new curriculum, new challenges, and we are learning how to teach from a distance and be productive at the same time. So it's a lot. It's a lot. If you just give it a moment, just think about it. We are doing a lot and trying to accomplish a lot of different things, with our emotions in a whirlwind. It's a whirlpool of emotions going within us, ourselves, which also comprise our family, our colleagues, friends, etc. And we are dealing with it. So, of course, as teachers, as educators, our stress levels, anxiety, is coming from different sources: students, family, friends, colleagues, right? How do we deal with this? What are the steps we should be taking? And today I'm speaking to you just as a friend and colleague. It's a very collegial discussion I would like to indulge into. And I'm not here to teach. I'm not teaching a class. I'm not giving a lecture about what you should do, what you should not do. What I'm trying to do today, or what I'm trying to accomplish from my, with the help of my presentation, is how to get connected. Do you really hear my story? Do you feel the same way I feel? Because if you really do, feel free to reach out to me. If you really feel that, yes, this is the same kind of lifestyle changes, the balance, exactly, we're all in this together. So the most important question which comes, what are the key points that educators need to understand, right? And whenever you ask yourself a question, it will lead to rounds and rounds of, you can't keep beating around the bush, and it will generate several other questions. It will, lead you to different caveats, and you keep asking yourself the question, how do I do the work-life balance? Okay, how is it going to look like in a new normal situation or in a post-COVID world? What should be my priority? What should I prioritize? Work, life, or both? What activities should I do? Are there specific approaches that I can apply while teaching a class, and at the same time, prioritize myself? So what I'm trying to stress here is, you got to do what you got to do, right? We will get used to this new normal, and actually we're almost kind of getting used to it. And this situation is going to control for a while, and I'm very skeptic. We have seen several crises.
Bandwidth problem. Sorry. Deepak sir, am I audible?
শুনতে পাচ্ছি। হ্যাঁ সুজন, কত মিনিট পর্যন্ত হয়েছে? হ্যালো সুজন, কত মিনিট পর্যন্ত হয়েছে? তাহলে এটাকে ছেড়েই দিই, তাই না? হ্যাঁ, প্রবলেম হচ্ছে কি, তাহলে কি পরে চলে যাব? তাই চলে যায়, তাহলে আমি বলে দিচ্ছি যে এরকম প্রবলেমের জন্য এটা। ঠিক আছে,
কত মিনিট হয়েছে জিনিসটা?
মিউট করে দিচ্ছেন। হ্যাঁ ম্যাডাম বলুন। বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে না। হ্যাঁ সুজন, সুজন, হ্যালো সুজন, মিউট করতে বলছে। নেক্সট বক্তার কাছে যাব। কিন্তু ওনার স্ক্রিনটা যাচ্ছে না। হ্যালো 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 হ্যালো, কি সব তো চলে যাবে যে, কি করতে হবে? আমি তো কিছু বলছি, কিছু কারোর আওয়াজই আসছে না। না, এটা স্ক্রিনটা থেকে এটা হচ্ছেই না তো। এই
আমার এখানে
স্ক্রিনটা, হ্যালো
আচ্ছা শোনেন, হ্যালো
হ্যালো স্যার, স্ক্রিনটা, ইয়েস স্যার, অডিয়েবল।
আচ্ছা, এই স্ক্রিনটা তো যাচ্ছে না, এটা ভিডিওটা।
না না স্যার।
So I can go to the next speaker. Hello. 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 অডিবেল। আমি কি সুজন এরপরে ম্যাডামের কাছে যেতে পারি, দেবশ্রী ম্যাডামের কাছে? Okay.
All is right, sir.
So first of all, I should say sorry to the audience. I say sorry, due to the extreme network problem. We can't run total entire video of Dr. Rai's lecture, but she has given an idea of eradication from trauma, stress, and anxiety of the teachers. So we are unlucky to hear the entire Dr. Rai's speech. Now I invite Professor Devashree Banerjee, Professor, Department of Education, University of Calcutta. Professor Banerjee has guided more than 18 research scholars for PhD students and also member of Board of Studies in different universities in West Bengal as well as other states in India. Professor Banerjee has written more than 62 research papers and more than 2 books. She is member of Board of Studies and PhD committee in different universities in the country. So, please, Devashree Madam.
Thank you, but I want to share my content. I need to share the content. Because we are running late, I will be very fast, but I need share content permission. Dr. Kundu,
Audible. You are audible.
but I need the share content, my PowerPoint.
Share content, you go share content and you will see the screen on the left hand side.
But it's not opening. The share
And
content is not opening.
Share content is not opening.
No.
আমার এখানে সেটা প্রবলেম হয়।
হ্যাঁ, ওনার ইয়েটা শেয়ার কন্টেন্টটা হচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ, আমি এখন লগ ইন করতে পারিনি, ঠিক আছে? আমি দেখছি আরেকবার। আমার এখানে লগ ইন হচ্ছে না ওই
বলে কি একটুখানি বলে দাও তাহলে।
শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট পারমিশন দিতে হবে।
পারমিশনটা দাও।
আমি শেয়ার করতে গিয়ে মলায়ক হতে পারছি না, দেখছি করতে পারি কিনা দেখছি।
খুব অসুবিধা হয় যেহেতু we are running late. I just discuss on my phone without the power.
Okay.
If that is all.
Okay.
Is it possible to share?
Audible.
No. I want to share my PowerPoint. Is it possible to give me the share permission?
Actually, Sujan is looking at this. He is trying.
Okay. I think I'll just not waste any more time because there are other speakers after this. So good afternoon, everybody, and I would like to thank the organizers for making me a part of this webinar. Today, I was just thinking of discussing on teacher stress, which has already been discussed by our previous speakers, the vice chancellors, and Madam Mumma, Madam. Has really made us all stress. And this, it's not
presenter only. Sorry, network problem হয়েছিল আপনাকে প্রেজেন্টার রোল আছে দিলাম
আচ্ছা থ্যাংক ইউ আমি থ্যাংক ইউ এখনো মনে হচ্ছে
হ্যাঁ শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট আসছে নিচে ওকে
আপনারা কি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন স্ক্রিনটা
আপনার স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে পিপিটি ওপেন করুন
হ্যাঁ স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে
পিপিটি ওপেন করছি এত স্লো
দেখছি সার্ভারে একটু কনজাকশন আছে
এবার দেখা যাচ্ছে
ওকে হ্যাঁ ভিজিবল
দেখা যাচ্ছে ভিজিবল
okay so the main common stresses actually before I start about teacher stress we have to remember that teachers don't teach a homogeneous group. We have teachers teaching at the primary level, at the secondary level, and adult students. But we have certain common stressors right now. One is the shift from face-to-face to distance teaching. And right now we saw the drawbacks of distance classes because we have to depend so much on technology, which can at times betray us. And the management of these online classes. Recently, in one of the studies, it was found that since students are not visible, you have 50 people on the screen, and it's not really possible for the teacher to manage them all the time, as it is easier for us to manage them in the class, because the teacher becomes the all in all. Here what happens is you don't know what the student is doing behind the screen, because the screen is often, the video is often switched off, and you are not sure whether they are listening to you or not, whether you are reaching them or not. The first and foremost thing is, how do I reach all students? In the classroom, you can see their body language. You can also see their facial expressions and understand whether they have understood or not. But when you cannot see them directly and you have so many people on screen, you really don't know how you can reach the students. So the first and foremost stressful condition is, can I reach my students? Next is, and from where and how do I learn it? Because this came in all of a sudden. So naturally, all of us want to learn how to be efficient teachers and effective teachers, but how do we learn it? And from where do we learn it? Luckily, we have got lots of websites right now and so many webinars taking place. But, being able to absorb it and put it into practice will need some time. So that is again becoming, how do I manage the time right now? So that again becomes one of the main stressors. And as my previous speakers did tell us about the technical infrastructure is required and technology has to be learned. And teaching in the class, when we have been teaching at the teacher education programs about how to manage the classroom and how to manage distance learning is very different. Because in the classroom, again, this contact between the teacher and the student plays a very important role. And it's easier, I believe, for the teachers to understand and read the students' body language and the facial expressions, and accordingly, excuse me, there is something popping up. I don't know how to get rid of it. And the next is, as we have discussed, what about the practical-based subjects? What do we do about the practical-based subjects? How do we have online classes for them? Online classes for theoretical papers is fine, but how do we have it for the practical ones? Think of in a teacher education program, think of teaching practicals, where it's no longer called teaching practical. It's like, like the whole day you have to go through the programs of the school. So how do we teach the students? How do we manage those? And the most important factor is time management. Time management, because in the school you are there for, or in your educational institution, you can afford to be over there for 6 to 7 hours. But when it is online class, it is say for maximum of 3 to 4 hours. And keeping the students motivated, keeping them, even keeping the teacher motivated, becomes a bit difficult. Now, see, the teachers belonging to different categories will have different stressors. So these were some of the common stressors that I was talking about. Now think of the school teachers. For them, if you have small children, trying to put them in a class when you have more activities, when you have more of gestures, but trying to fix them to a screen and watching the teacher becomes very difficult. So school teachers have different sort of problem trying to handle the online classes. And for us, the college and university teachers, again, it's a bit different. And for teachers teaching in the technical education part, for example, the teacher educators also, we have different stressors. Right now, at present, I feel our main stressor is how do we evaluate the students. Are we doing justice to the kind of evaluation procedure that we are thinking of? Are we really making them fit for the society? Because after they pass out with the degree, will they really have the knowledge, really have the skill to face the world that the previous batches did have? Or are we, COVID is really making us feel that are we cheating ourselves, and are we cheating the students? Are we cheating the society to some extent? So that is again a stressor. Besides that, we can see in the newspapers, like there are colleges and schools which are run by the tuition fees of the students. Now, with economic crunch coming in, with so many people going out of job, the teachers are also facing this indirect or direct, where some teachers are now having salary cuts. And some private schools are paying half the salary, even the private colleges. And there are some colleges, and I'm sure the ones who are in the teacher education colleges and finance colleges, they know that the kind of acts that's going to come on them, like some of them are without salaries for quite some time. So again, that becomes a great stressor. And right now, my previous speaker was talking about balancing life and work. You know, working from home sounds very nice. It did sound very nice previously, but right now we can feel like balancing both life and work becomes very difficult, because when you are in the house and you don't have people or the support system, you know, having two jobs done simultaneously and in an effective way becomes very difficult. And what happens is like this: you are fatigued and tired and stressed out, and even sitting in front of the computer for a long time, for long hours, taking online classes, can make us not only physically fatigued but also mentally fatigued. So these are some of the stressors. Well, change is inevitable, and if we as teachers need to grow, which is optional, we'll have to accept the change, and we'll always have to accept that there will be changes of this sort. We'll have to accept it, we'll have to learn the skills, we'll have to make the best of whatever is taking place. Because see, one best part about online classroom is like right now, we have people from all over the world who can be a part of our teaching community, who can give an exposure to the students. So with that, I would like to conclude, like teacher stress has increased, and but as teachers, when we are talking to students about how to handle life, even we will have to know how to handle our life and how we can actually deal with it. Thank you.
So, thank you, Professor Devasthi Banerjee, for giving ideas about the stress and stress management also. Professor Banerjee has categorized teachers in three ways: school teachers, college and university teachers, and technical education teachers. And she has also given the message that especially teachers belonging to private school and colleges are facing problem due to the salary cuts. So thank you again on behalf of the college, madam, for your great presentation. And we, in terms of especially time, now I invite Professor ASM Firoz Ul Hassan, Department of Governments and Politics, University of Jahangirnagar, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Professor Hassan was earlier lecturer in Bangladesh Civil Service. He has also completed 7 research projects under UGC Fund and University Fund. He has written various books and research papers also. So, please, Hassan sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you. Especially thanks to Mr. Deepak Kumar Kundu sir. He invited me and he made a conversation several times with me. আমরা যন্ত্রের যন্ত্রণায় 1 ঘন্টা দেরি করে ফেলেছি। Thanks to Devasthi Banerjee madam. Already she explained all the stresses of a teachers and the now in crucial condition in academic scenario. I would like to thank the eminent educators, the honorable guest, SP Rai College Authority, the listeners and the audience, the organizer. Hope all of you are fine in this global pandemic. And now, welcome to my presentation on e-learning teaching strategies and teachers' stress in post-COVID-19 sessions. I'd like to present my papers on Bangladesh perspective. Here are two parts of my talk. One is general discussion and another part is completely on Bangladesh perspective. So, what is e-learning? E-learning promotes a feeling of self-responsibility among students. They are now accountable to themselves for their decision to study or not. Everybody you know, it enables students not only to rely on textbook information, but to expand their knowledge by researching using World Wide Web. Well, now I am telling about the importance of e-learning. You know, students' engagement is expected to improve learning outcomes. E-learning enables students to become thinkers, learners, risk-takers in a sheltered environment. Learning contents can reach wider audience location within less time. Thus, it reduces overall cost. Okay, so what's the benefit of e-learning? Now I'm talking about the benefit of e-learning in general, not in Bangladesh perspective. This digital revolution has led to remarkable changes in how the content is accessed, consumed, discussed, and shared. Online educational courses can be taken by office goers and households too at their suitable time. You know, unlike classroom teaching, in online learning, students can access the content an unlimited number of times. A prime benefit of e-learning is that it makes sure that you are constantly updated as a modern learner. This enables to learner to access updated content whenever they want it. E-learning is a way of providing quick delivery of lessons compared to traditional classroom teaching method. This mode has relatively quick delivery cycles. Financial benefit of e-learning is cost effective as compared to traditional forms of learning, definitely. The reason for this price reduction is because learning through this mode happens quickly and easily. A lot of training time is reduced considering cost of trainers, travel, course materials, and accommodation. But there are some disadvantages of e-learning also. So what's that? I think lack of self-discipline and procrastination may make students feel less motivated to study. Traditional classroom is more effective in this case since a student is constantly monitored in the class. We know lack of advanced technological device technical knowledge, and good internet connection are major obstacles to everywhere. So my main focus is to discuss this issue in Bangladesh perspective. So now I am talking about the issue in Bangladesh perspective. So what are the capacity of the government and institutions of Bangladesh right now? Although e-learning has already been accepted globally as an effective medium to deliver quality education and ensure optimum student participation, Bangladeshi higher educational institutions are still at a very early stage of adopting such technologies. The immediate purpose of the suspension of classes is to ensure social distancing by discouraging our young ones from physically gathering. Though the intention to stop the novel coronavirus from spreading is novel, but the situation is going to be prolonged and the end is not in sight. All of a sudden, many working parents do not know how to handle their naughty school-going boys and girls or children as they're staying at home now. Teachers are confused regarding how to compensate for the lost time and finish lessons plans on time. Many students do not know how to negotiate with this unexpected isolation that is already mentioned by many speakers. Okay, now I'm telling about the government initiatives already taken in Bangladesh. We know the current government has launched projects like access to information and information and communication technology division, maintaining its emphasis on digitalization as a part of its electoral commitment. Supporting ICT development, government has already established language labs in more than 1,600 schools and 500 multimedia classrooms for secondary level. This huge investment will influence the ICT sector, I think, diffuse e-learning in Bangladesh. So we should realize that e-learning does not only focus on a strong high-speed internet connection with sophisticated electronic devices. It also stresses on digitalizing education sector, forming a unified national e-learning strategy. It requires to bringing all levels of education like primary, secondary, higher secondary, and tertiary level under one platform. And a popular system called learning management system plays a significant role in e-learning at Bangladesh right now. Though in last few years, technology has improved more, definitely, but it is still not strong enough. Also, the cost of the infrastructure is another issue that is mentioned in my earlier speaker. Besides, the lack of knowledge about virtual learning is so less that teachers are not comfortable with this learning system at all. Our education ministry already has taken the initiative of providing the students of primary and secondary level with class lectures through our national TV channel. The channel is broadcasting lectures by teachers on syllabus contents to keep students engaged in learning. I like to add that our Honorable Education Minister, Dr. Dipu Moni, has mentioned that 10% students are out of internet and they are not capable of paying the cost of internet. And some of them do not have a smartphone even. So she declared that the government will ask the internet providers to distribute free internet to the students and teachers. Taking such initiatives would be a great benefit of both, I think. With this backdrop, in May 2020, an international reputed organization, BRAC, you know the name of BRAC, an international NGOs, has conducted a research on impact of COVID-19 on education in Bangladesh. That was the rapid assessment. This research report reveals that TV or online classes are not reaching all students. They show 56% of students do not participate in TV or online-based learning processes. It's a matter of sorrow. And 71% of them have limitations of necessary arrangements like TV, electricity, dish connection, internet, etc. They don't have the arrangements. So what are the stresses and challenges? My earlier speakers, Devashree Banerjee, already explained nicely. So I am trying to explain in Bangladesh perspective. We know in recent months, we have seen many universities in Bangladesh offering online classes. For too long, we have seen an unfavorable and negative attitude towards online education from our policymakers. It is a fact that online teaching has traditionally been undermined in our country. An online degree has never been seen as a real degree. It's a matter of great sorrow, you know. Oh, while there are some who have online certification, who have used platforms like Google Classroom or Blackboard before, most teachers in Bangladesh do not have any experience of teaching only online. They are also unfamiliar with online assessment techniques or the work that is involved in redesigning courses. This is a very challenging issue. And definitely, there is no doubt that there are many exceptional teachers in our country. But even great teachers may lack expertise in creating online lessons. Even a brilliant researcher and a renowned scholar may feel uncomfortable to teach through online. One needs training and, if possible, experience for that. As educators, there are so many questions for us to consider. What about the question of teachers' job security? What will happen to the ones who find it difficult to adapt to this new way of teaching? Will they lose their jobs? How will they proctor exams online? Will they have a technical support to do so? And if they have 300 students in a class normally, which is impossible to handle even in classroom, how will they manage that class online? How will they assess their students? Is there a common platform? Any rules and regulations? Who will ensure that standards and maintained when 10 teachers from the same department teach in 10 different ways? This is a basic question. Another important question is, how will teachers be evaluated and by whom? and based on what standards? These are questions that the university grant commissions and the academic institutions need to seriously look at in Bangladesh right now. And right now, when we all can understand that we may have to start teaching remotely eventually, the country needs teachers who can actually teach online or digitally, which is something that most of us have very little experience of. On the other hand, internet speed and internet use capacity of both the students and teachers is also a concern. While mobile companies charges a huge cash for internet connection, many regions in the country is yet not well facilitated with a strong network. Students and teachers living in such areas are facing difficulties to attend or deliver online classes. Both teacher and students are facing the same problems. Okay, anything new which involves lifetime learning of our students needs an extensive analysis and homework before implementation. How will we ensure real-time experience for that? And for the students whose degree require lab work, we don't have any online platform to ensure access to our library data like the developed world. How will our students manage their resources for study? So these are the basic questions. Okay, last but not the least, we know the entire world is struggling to survive the blow of a global pandemic, which is affecting our professional world too. Students who are living in this chaotic situation, how much motivated they might be to attend online classes. There are many students whose parents are losing jobs and relatives are dying. When everyone is living in an anxious time, will this pressure to go online be a second layer of stress of them? Does all of them have a sound environment at home to attend classes? We need to think about this too. As concluding remarks, finally, I'd like to say e-learning provides both the students and teachers with the ability to make a balance between learning and lifestyles. Nowadays, learners are well accustomed in using a smartphone, internet, and messaging. So participating or running an online courses has become a simple affair right now. Since affordable e-learning solution exists, we need a good e-learning tools, proper homework and guidelines, and detailed plans to promote education virtually from anywhere. So this was from my part. Thanks to everybody for your passion sharing. Thanks to the organizer, and thank you all once again. Thanks to Deepak Kumar Kundu sir and the SP Roy College Authority. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Professor Firozul Hassan. You have given the idea of all level of education in perspective of Bangladesh. Professor Hassan has also highlighted the stress and challenges after the COVID-19 in Bangladesh perspective. He also highlighted that the negative attitude of the online course in Bangladesh. He told that students are unfamiliar with the online assessment. So, true, very true. It's a very great challenges to all the teachers and also government professionals in Bangladesh. So thank you, Professor Hassan, for joining this webinar. Now I invite Professor Abhijit Kumar Pal. Professor Abhijit Kumar Pal is also the head of the Department of Education, West Bengal State University. He is also guest faculty of University of Calcutta. Professor Pal has more than 21 years of teaching experience and written more than 18 books published both in national and international level. He has also guided almost 5 research scholars and also at present supervising more than 5 research scholars. He has attended a number of resource persons in different seminars, conference, workshops in national and international level. So I invite Professor Abhijit Kumar Pal to give your valuable lecture. Abhijit, sir, please.
Yes. Thank you. Now I want to share my PPT. What have I do?
Okay. Share. You just go to share.
Yes.
And
Share.
clicking, you will see on the share content and image and text.
Screen
image
one.
And screen one, right?
Screen one. Then
image and context.
Image and context.
And select from device.
What is the image and context?
PowerPoint. SH. Yes. Your PowerPoint has come.
Yes.
Visible. Starting. It is starting.
From where I start?
তুমি দিতে যাও পিসিতে যাও পিসিতে গিয়ে ওখান থেকে তোমার পাওয়ারপয়েন্ট সিলেক্ট করে ওটাকে করে দাও পিসিতে চলে যাও
পিসিতে গেলাম
পিসিতে গিয়ে তোমার যে পাওয়ারপয়েন্টটাকে ওপেন করে দাও
হ্যাঁ দাঁড়াও
Bijon sir is very much expert. He is also tech savvy.
আচ্ছা
পাওয়ারপয়েন্টে দেখো
হ্যাঁ এবার হচ্ছে দাঁড়াও ই-লার্নিং
ওই তো ই-লার্নিং স্ট্র্যাটেজি করো ডবল ক্লিক করো করে এবার
আচ্ছা
দাও খুলে নাও
এখনো খোলেনি
আবার ক্লিক করো
এবার হচ্ছে
F5 টিপে ওটাকে স্লাইড শো করে দাও F5 করে দাও
কোনটাকে এবার
F5 স্লাইড শো করে দাও ব্যাস
F5 করে দিচ্ছি তাহলেই হবে তো
F5 করে দাও
স্লাইড শো ওকে
এবার তুমি শুধু আপ ডাউন টিপবে তাহলে ওপেন নিচ করবে
ওকে
বাবা থ্যাংক ইউ বিজন স্যার
respected principal Professor Soma Banerjee, respected Vice Chancellor Professor Soma Banerjee, WUTT-EPA, respected Vice Chancellor Professor Basov Choudhury, respected resource persons from abroad and India, respected Principal Dr. Subid Nag, respected Convener Dr. Deepak Kundu, respected Professor Debashree Banerjee, Professor Bijon Sarkar. I am very happy that Satyapriya Rai College of Education has invited me to deliver a speech based on e-learning teaching strategies and teacher stress in post-COVID-19 session. I have not taken so many times. Rather, I want to share my views by showing some PPT, just like. At first, I want to share my views in 3 headings: teachers' role in e-learning teaching, students' role in e-learning teaching, and lastly, teacher stress. First of all, teachers' role in e-learning teaching. Teachers must have sufficient knowledge and interest in e-learning teaching. This is known to all, so I don't want to discuss. Teachers must have skill to control various electronic gadgets. You know that we, the teachers, before 10 years or 15 years, we have no such type of idea. But during the passage of time, we have gained the idea and skill how to control various electronic gadgets. Teachers must know the advantages and limitations of various apps, like so many apps like Google Meet, Google Jitsi Meet, WebEx Meet, Zoom, Skype, GoToMeet, etc. And in this webinar, we are performing this program due to WebEx Meet. Teachers must have some ideas regarding free apps, free paid apps, pirated apps, etc. We are all known that some apps are free, some are paid, and some are pirated. Teachers, at the same time, teachers must create one or more WhatsApp group or groups for easy communication with the students for smooth teaching learning process. And I want to say about the teachers must send some photocopies of study material in this WhatsApp group so that they can easily communicate with the students. And at the last, teachers may communicate with the students through email also, email also. Next, teachers' role in e-learning teaching. Teachers must have sufficient can I not move the আসছে না কেন এটা হচ্ছে না হ্যালো হ্যালো সুজন হ্যালো হ্যালো yes is there any problem
You are audible.
But I can't move the slide.
You are audible.
I am audible, but I can't move the slide. Next slide. What's the problem? What's the problem? Yes. Teacher students must know. Yes. Teacher students must know 10 best mobile apps of Google, like Google Maps, Google Now, Google Plus Local, Google Playbooks, and so on. Google Voice, Google Search, Google Shopper, and so on. In the teachers have some ideas on following apps that will be helpful in various activities of classroom situations, like App Squeezle, App Editio, and Editio, etc. Then App Aries, App Aladdin, Aristotle Insight, and so on. Teachers must know the various utilities of Swayam, Sadganga, Infinite. At the same time, Guru of IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School Guru of Netaji Subhas Open University. Teachers must know to use Google Scholar to find out the article, Google Scholar citation to track publications for research purpose. At the same time, teachers should have some ideas to check plagiarism with the help of some software like Urkund, Plagscan, Turnitin, plagiarism checker, etc. And now I want to discuss about students' role in e-learning teaching. Students should be sound in ICT uses. Students must have interest in controlling electronic gadgets. Students should have adjustive and cooperative attitude during online teaching learning. Students should ask questions to the respective teacher if they face any problem. And at the same time, students must take the help from his or her classmates, friends before or during or after the online classes. Students should have mail ID, WhatsApp account, Messenger account, so that he or she can easily communicate with the other. And I think all these points are known to all the students, and the present students are very much familiar with electronic goods, and they are more familiar rather than the teacher, I think. Now the teacher stress. Already Professor Devasri Banerjee has discussed on this part. The main problem or main stress, how to complete the syllabus during this lockdown period, how to start online classes. Just think, about 2 months or 3 months ago, we have no ideas how to start online class. We just know that there is some apps like just Skype, Zoom, etc. But when the government declared that Zoom is not so suitable or user friendly, then others we have already searched other apps. Which app is suitable to me for taking online classes? There are so many problems. 50 students or 100 students are taking capacity, but WebEx Meet or Google Meet, more than 100 students can participate. How shall I evaluate the students? The most important questions of the problem of the teacher. How shall I evaluate? With the help of MCQ or others, either through online, as because the offline and evaluation process is closed. When there will be no lockdown, after a certain period of time, there will be no lockdown. What shall I do? The problem we face? When the educationals will become normal, this is the most valuable questions to all the teachers. When the educational institutions will become normal, and all these questions make the teachers stressful. And at last, I want to show a video which will help how to cope up with the stress. Please watch this video. Please watch. Now, Bijon sir, please help me and instruct me. Bijon sir, please help me and instruct me. Or Sujon, please instruct me. এবার কি করব? হ্যাঁ, এবার কি করব? Yes. হ্যাঁ, শেয়ার। হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো।
স্যার পরের প্রেজেন্টার কে আছে?
একটা ভিডিও আছে, 5 মিনিটের একটা ভিডিও আছে। সেটা কি করবো এবার শেয়ারে? কি করবো এবার?
হ্যালো
হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ, একটা ভিডিও আছে, এটা কি শেয়ার? তারপর শেয়ার।
হ্যাঁ, একটু উজ্জ্বল সুজন বা হেল্প করো,
একটু হেল্প করো।
ওখানে শেয়ার কন্টেন্টে যান। হ্যালো,
আমার দেখাও শেয়ার।
ওখানে 3 ডটে যান, সেখানে গিয়ে শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট।
আচ্ছা, শেয়ারে গেছি, ঠিক আছে, শেয়ার। তারপর শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট। হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ, স্ক্রিন যান।
আচ্ছা, স্ক্রিন। স্ক্রিন না, স্ক্রিন তো দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, সরি, মেল দেখতে পাচ্ছি। আচ্ছা, স্ক্রিন, স্টার্ট, সেটিংস আছে, মাইক্রোসফটে আছে, স্ক্রিন দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
স্ক্রিনে গিয়ে ওখানে অ্যালাউ অপশন আসবে, দেখবেন
কি আছে না, কোনো স্ক্রিন দেখতে পাচ্ছি না। শেয়ার ফাইল আছে, হোয়াইট বোর্ড আছে, গ্রুপ মিউজিক।
স্যার সুজন,
হ্যাঁ,
কি প্রবলেম?
আরে একটা ভিডিও দেখাবো, বলো। শেয়ারে আছি এখন, শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট থেকে বলো।
শেয়ারে না, এটা স্টপ শেয়ারিং করুন।
স্টপ শেয়ারিং করে দেবো। আচ্ছা, এটা তাহলে কি ক্রস করে দেবো? ঠিক আছে, বাস।
উপরে না, উপরে ইয়েলো বাটনটা আছে, ইয়েলো অপশন আছে, ইয়েলো বার আছে একটা, শেয়ারিং স্টপ।
হ্যাঁ, বলো।
এবার আপনি স্ক্রিন শেয়ারে যান, শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট।
আচ্ছা, শেয়ার
কি আসছে বলুন?
হ্যাঁ, এবার বলো। এবার
কি আসছে বলুন?
এবার স্টার্ট
স্ক্রিন 1 আসছে।
স্ক্রিন 1, হ্যাঁ, স্ক্রিন 1 আসছে।
হ্যাঁ, করুন
স্ক্রিন 1। তারপর এবার কন্টেন্ট যাব, তাই তো? বলো।
টিচার স্টেটস বলে একটা স্লাইড দেখাচ্ছে, এটা আপনার?
হ্যাঁ, টিচার স্টেটস একটা স্লাইড আছে। ওই
এটা মিনিমাইজ করুন।
কোনটাকে? এটাকে না?
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ, বলো।
কিন্তু মিনিমাইজ তো হয়নি।
27 একটা আছে এতে। আমার একটাই, দুটো স্লাইড আছে, মানে ভিডিও আছে, একটা ভিডিও দেখাবো। সেটা কোথায়?
ওই স্লাইডের মধ্যে ভিডিও আছে?
না না না, আলাদা করে ভিডিও আছে, ওটা মাই কন্টেন্টে আছে।
এটাকে মিনিমাইজ করতে হবে স্যার।
কোনটাকে?
এই স্লাইডটাকে, পিপিটি টিচার স্টেটস, এই পিপিটি।
এটাকে তো স্লাইডে মিনিমাইজ কোথায় গো? এটাকে মিনিমাইজ কোনো না, এটা তুমি করে দাও তাহলে।
ওকে স্যার, আরেকবার স্ক্রিন 1টা ঠিকঠাক আসছে না, আরেকবার পুনরায় করুন।
আচ্ছা, আরেকবার করব স্যার। এটা কি স্টপ শেয়ারিং?
স্টপ করে আবার
তারপর হচ্ছে এই শেয়ার, ঠিক আছে,
শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট। হ্যাঁ স্যার দেখুন উপরে অপটিমাইজ বলে একটা লেখা আছে, অপটিমাইজ।
হ্যাঁ অপটিমাইজ ফর টেক্সট
ওখানে ভিডিও অপশন, আর ভিডিও করুন অপটিমাইজ ভিডিও অপশন আছে, সেকেন্ড অপশন কি আছে?
হ্যাঁ ওটা অপটিমাইজ ফর মোশন এন্ড ভিডিও আছে। হ্যাঁ এবার ভিডিও,
হ্যাঁ ওটা চুজ করুন। হ্যাঁ করে স্ক্রিন 1 করে শেয়ার করুন, স্ক্রিন 1।
হ্যাঁ তারপর এবার কিসে যাব?
স্ক্রিন 1 আসছে উপরে, স্ক্রিন
1 তো এসেছিল।
হ্যাঁ বা কি স্ক্রিন আসছে ওখানে বলুন?
ওই তো টিচার স্টেজ, এটাই চলে এলো তো আবার।
স্যার পিপিটিটা ক্লোজ করুন স্যার, এটা স্টপ শেয়ারিং করে পিপিটিটা ক্লোজ করে আরেকবার শেয়ারিং করুন। পিপিটিটা পুরো ক্লোজ করে দিন, ওটা অন রাখার প্রয়োজন নেই। স্যার অভিজিৎ স্যারকে আনমিউট করো মনে হয়। স্যারের ভয়েস আসছে।
হ্যালো বলো।
ওকে স্যার হ্যাঁ অডিবল।
হ্যাঁ বলো এবার কি করব?
শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট করুন।
শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট, এই তো শেয়ার অপটিমাইজ
মোশন করুন, মোশন ভিডিও।
হ্যাঁ এবার ভিডিও
স্ক্রিন 1 করুন। শেয়ার স্ক্রিন 1 আসছে?
হ্যাঁ স্ক্রিন 1 আসছে। আবার তো হ্যাঁ
প্রবলেম হচ্ছে কি, প্রবলেম হলে তাহলে নেক্সট এটা চলে যাবে।
হ্যাঁ একটা জাস্ট আমার 4 মিনিটের একটা ভিডিও ছিল, এটাকে বন্ধ করে দাও না, এই পিপিটিটাকে বন্ধ করে দাও।
তাহলে স্যার আপনি F12 মারুন।
হ্যাঁ
অভিজিৎ স্যার আপনি F12 মারুন।
হ্যাঁ
F5 মারুন।
F5 আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ এবার এখান থেকে ক্লোজ করে আপনি ভিডিও যেখানে আছে সেখানে যান।
F5 তো দিলাম,
আরেকবার
F5 দেব।
আরেকবার
F5 হ্যাঁ, তাতেও তো বন্ধ হচ্ছে না।
একটু অ্যাসিস্ট করো। এসকেপ বাটনটা প্রেস করুন, এসকেপ ডান দিকে কর্নারে।
হ্যাঁ ডান দিকে ইয়েস
হচ্ছে না?
তাহলে ছেড়ে দাও তাহলে।
ওকে স্যার আপনি কন্টিনিউ করুন, আপনি স্ক্রিন শেয়ারিংটা স্টপ করে কন্টিনিউ করুন।
তাহলে কি শুরু করব?
স্টপ শেয়ারিং করে দিচ্ছি। ওকে
শুরু করি নাকি?
তো এক করতে পারলাম।
হ্যালো,
ভিডিওটা দেখাতে পারলে ভালো লাগতো।
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ yes
am I audible?
yes you are audible.
Hello,
thank you Deepak.
দীপক স্যার
hello, am I audible?
Yes
বলুন।
আচ্ছা ওকে, thank you Professor Abhijit Pal for giving your ideas about the role of e-learning teaching. Professor Pal has also given the idea that, and also given message that teachers must
ডিভাইস নোট করুন।
have. Hello,
বলুন।
Professor Pal has given the message that teachers must have skills about electronic gadgets and also must skill about the different electronics ICT platforms for online teaching learning. But Professor Pal also told that students should also be sound in ICT So, thank you, Professor Pal, for joining this webinar. Now I invite Professor Bijan Sarkar, Professor, Department of Education, University of Kolkata. Apart from MSc in Education and PhD degree from University of Kolkata, Professor Sarkar completed MSc in Social Chemistry from University of Calcutta. He has also written a number of books and more than 35 research papers published both in national and international level. He has guided 7 research scholars and he has performed as research person in more than 50 different seminar both national and international level. So I request Professor Sarkar, please sir.
সেমিনার শেষ হয়নি, কি করবো?
Bijan sir, start.
স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে না, হেডফোনটা স্যার চেক করুন একবার, আনপ্লাগ করে কথা বলুন।
না, দুটো বাজবে তো।
মিনময়ী ম্যাডাম প্লিজ মিউট করুন, মিনময়ী দে ঘোষ ম্যাডাম প্লিজ মিউট। মলয়দা আপনি মিনময়ী ম্যাডামকে মিউট করবেন। স্যার নয়েজ আছে, একটু মিউট রাখুন। স্যার মিউট।
হ্যালো
মলয়দা দীপক স্যারকে মিউট করুন। হ্যাঁ স্যার।
হ্যালো হ্যালো, আমাকে শোনা যাচ্ছে এবার?
স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে, শোনা যাচ্ছে বিজেন স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, আমি এটা হেডফোনটা পাল্টে নিই।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, করুন করুন, অসুবিধা নেই।
আমি হেডফোনটা একটু পাল্টে নিই, তারপর কথা বলছি।
ওকে স্যার, ওকে স্যার, নো প্রবলেম। দীপক বাবু আপনি দুটো ডিভাইস একটু দূরে রাখুন, মোবাইলটা একটু দূরে রাখুন, কাছাকাছি থাকার জন্য একটু।
বক্সটা বন্ধ করো, চ্যাট বক্সটা বন্ধ করো দীপক, চ্যাট বক্স বন্ধ করো।
চ্যাট বক্স কে বলছেন?
হ্যালো
স্যার।
হ্যালো, শোনা যাচ্ছে আমাকে?
স্যার কে?
হ্যালো, আমাকে শোনা যাচ্ছে?
শোনা যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ শোনা,
হ্যাঁ স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে, শোনা যাচ্ছে।
এবার শেয়ার কন্টেন্টটা দেওয়া আছে আমাকে?
হ্যাঁ শোনে,
বলছি আমাকে শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট দেওয়া আছে?
আচ্ছা
শেয়ার কন্টেন্ট দেওয়া আছে?
আপনি প্রেজেন্টার, আপনাকে দেয়া আছে। স্যার ইয়েস স্যার, দেয়া আছে।
ওকে, ঠিক আছে। আমারটা কি শেয়ার হয়েছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার দেখা যাচ্ছে।
শেয়ার হয়েছে তাই তো?
হয়েছে হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার ফুল স্ক্রিন করে নিন।
হ্যাঁ, ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দিচ্ছি। ঠিক আছে এবার?
লার্জ নমস্কার দেখাচ্ছে। ওকে
ওইটা ঠিক আছে, এটাই আমার।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। ওকে স্যার, কন্টিনিউ।
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We are too late for discussion. Thanks to the organizer for giving me the opportunity to share my views. I'll be discuss very nutshell way. Okay. So today I want to discuss a new learning strategy which is applicable in e-learning and also in regular classroom also. So. This is the name of my topic: schoolwork at home and homework at school. actually this is the reverse technology. That means schoolwork at home and homework at school. So before going into the detail of my new learning technology, learning strategy, I want to show you the traditional classroom teaching steps. This is the traditional classroom teaching steps. First of all, teacher prepares and takes classes in school as a group. Normally this is our first step. Then teacher gives some assignment for further reading, the second step, and then student complete the assignment at home individually. And after completing the assignment, again student goes to the classroom and teacher prepares and takes classes in a school as a group. So this is the normal step of our traditional teaching methods. If the opposite direction, if you consider this teaching as opposite direction, then what will be the matter? Then students learns individually at home. In previous case, it is at school. Now students learn individually at home. Then teacher gives assignment for further reading, and then student complete the assignment at school in a group. So this is reverse. Here schoolwork at home and homework at school. Schoolwork means the teaching of the teacher it happens in home, at home, and the homework it happens in the school. This is the reverse order teaching. Is it possible? And is there any connection between this strategy with e-learning? Yes, there is a new learning strategy in our e-learning procedure also, and also in normal classroom situation also, and this learning is called flipped learning. And this is very interesting, this flipped learning. It can be used in our regular classroom, it can be used for our e-learning strategy everywhere. So what is flipped learning? Now before going to the discussion about the flipped learning, I want to show you the two major work of two educationists. One is Alison King, a paper named as From Sage on Stage to Guide on the Side. Taylor Francis paper, Sage on the Stage to Guide on the Side. And what is the main proposition of this paper? In most classrooms, the teacher is the central figure. That means he is sage on the stage, and the one teacher is one who has the knowledge and transmit the knowledge to the students, who simply memorize the information and later reproduce it. This is the sage on the stage. Teacher from sage on the stage to guide on the side. But in our constructivist model, student plays at the center of the process, and the teacher, instead of being sage on the stage, function as guide on the side and facilitating the learning. This is the King Allison's concept of sage on the stage to guide on the side. And there is also another person, another expert educationist from Harvard University. This is Eric Mazur, and his concept was peer instruction. What is peer instruction? Students preparing to learn outside of class by doing pre-class reading and answering questions about those readings among themselves. This is peer instruction. That means the class, the normal preparation of the class is doing outside of the class. And considering this, if you consider the traditional classroom and flipped classroom, and what are the actions? Number one, in the traditional classroom, teacher prepares and delivers instruction to whole class. Then student listen the class and take notes. Then student try to comprehend the content or concept, and then homework is assigned to consolidate their understanding, and then student complete the homework individually at home. This is the normal classroom situation. If you consider the flipped classroom, then what will happen? Teacher prepares and selects material, generally it is online, to access outside of the class. That means it is at the home. The teacher prepares and selects materials, online materials. It may be video, it may be audio, it may be PPT, any form. And there are so many open educational resources. There are so many organizations who prepare this type of online materials like Khan Academy, like TED Aid. There are so many organizations who they prepare this type of online material. The teacher prepares and select this type of material to access outside of the class. Then student watch and understand online material as homework to prepare for lesson. That is, which is called classwork. Here it is homework. Then class time is for active learning, problem solving, and interacting with students. So this is reverse of our traditional classroom. And this condition, this type of learning, this type of classroom is generally called flipped classroom or flipped learning. Then, and students receive support from teachers and peers as required. Where? In the classroom. So before classroom, they do their activities, do their lesson at home, and then they come to the classroom to discuss the matter. And this is the actual matter. To consider this matter, this is traditional classroom. This blue color is teacher, the blue color person is teacher, and all these are students. Plus, this is the group activities in traditional classroom, plus individual activities at home. This is the normal classroom situation. But in flipped classroom, this is teacher, blue colored, and this is black colored. This is actually student. This activity is at home. This activity is at home. Then this is class activities in group, and here is the teacher. Actually, this is reverse, and this condition is called classroom. Okay. Then there are so many sites regarding flipped learning, and one of the main site is Flipped Learning Network Hub. This is the front page or the first page of this Flipped Learning Network Hub. And if you want, you can also join this community, Flipped Slack community. You can join as administrator or as resource person, and this community is called Slack community. Just click here, and if you want to join this Slack community. Then there are some few books we have already I have gone through before presenting this session. Number 1, review of flipped learning. Number 2, a 2020 vision, the flipped classroom, and this flipped learning practitioner guide, all these type of things. And I want to mention one interesting story, actually interesting fact regarding the evolution of flipped learning. Not only this is the first case in 19th century in United States Military Academy, do some work which are related to this flipped learning. I do not want to discuss these things. Then in 2000 and then in 2001, these are the work before flipped learning. And in fact, this is the real practical situation or practical condition of flipped learning story. I want to describe this story. First, the real flipped happened in the US after 2000. Two chemistry teachers, his name is written here, two chemistry teachers were continually discussing the challenges they face day after day in their school. One of the recurring problem was that students were often absent due to their participation at sports events. They understood that it is not good if they always miss the classes. They said that we do not want to deliver the same lesson again and again individually to those who are missing. So then they found some software that is good for recording presentation and for attaching notes to them. And then what they have done, they recorded the lesson and sent it to them. And surprisingly, they found that the students who missed out the lectures actually mastered the materials more effectively than the ones who were sat in the classroom and listening the live lecture. So step by step, they stopped all live lectures and they agreed that students only need them if they got stuck. Very interestingly, they gave out the recordings for pre-class homework and turned the classroom lesson into interactive learning environment where time was dedicated to help explore deeper understanding of the topics. Soon the videos they published were discovered and used by other teachers and schools. So their approach, now named flipped classroom, started to spread internationally. And this is the real story. So the main flipped learning work was done by two American science teachers, and the name is Bergman and Sams. This is the evolution of learning. And next, nature of flipped learning. Actually, it is inverted classroom. It is a picture shown in our Wikipedia. This is a inverted classroom. They describe this. They describe this type of picture to explain flipped learning. Inverted classroom. Okay. Then another thing is there. This is Bloom's taxonomy, and it is revised Bloom's taxonomy by Anderson, remembering and finally creating. In general, in our traditional classroom, the lower two levels, that means remembering and understanding, this level was discussed, is generally discussed in our school, and the remaining levels are now done by the students at home. This is our traditional system. School level, remembering and understanding, and another level, and the higher level will be at the home. But if you consider this flipped learning, the taxonomy or the hierarchy is reversed. That means before class, at home, remembering and understanding, and during the class, applying and analyzing, and after class, they are evaluating and creating something. This is another approach, another nature of our flipped learning. So, according to Flip Network Hub, this flip is like that. Flip, F means flexible environment, L means learning culture, I means intentional content, and P means professional educators. These are flipped. Okay. Then there are some advantages of flipped learning. Obviously, there are some advantages. It is student-centered, efficiently use the classroom, class time. These are the advantages, and all these are the challenges which are very common. Access to technology, obviously internet problem, devices problem, like that, and sometimes student preferences for traditional modes of learning. These are always, students generally said that it's better to have direct face-to-face classroom. Obviously. Then, so now at this stage, flip learning network, they mention that a little flip goes a long way. A little flip goes a long way. Teachers do not need to flip entire courses to benefit from flip teaching and learning techniques. So there is also another concept which is called partially flipped classroom. So this is the flipped learning strategy, flipped classroom. So as a teacher, either e-learning or our traditional classroom, we may use this flipped learning technology. And during this COVID-19 crisis or pandemic situation, all teachers are accustomed or acquainted with the online system. So we may use in our learning system, also in our general classroom situation. Thank you. And so I mentioned another thing, flipped, not flopped. This is my designation. Thank you all present here.
Thank you, Professor Bijan Sarkar. You have given the opposite scenario between the traditional classroom and e-learning classroom. You have given a new learning. It's a very interesting word, flipped learning, and you have given the advantages. We are turned to the interactive session. I would like to hand over this great responsibility to our beloved principal, Dr. Subin Nag. So, Subir sir, please.
Mr. Please take your headphone.
Yes, Malay, Sujan, principal sir is not audible.
আচ্ছা প্রিন্সিপাল স্যার হেডফোনটা চেক করতে হবে সুবীর স্যার প্লিজ চেক ইউর হেডফোন সুবীর স্যার ইউ আর হিয়ারিং
Check.
হ্যাঁ স্যার ক্লিয়ার
Is audible?
Yes sir, continue please.
Audible?
Sir. Yes sir. First again, sir please, again it's disconnected. Please check.
Hello.
Hi sir. Clear.
Okay.
Thank you. Which you can hear me?
Hello.
Hi sir.
Hello, am I audible? Now
Yes,
please
sir.
connect to please connect to
Sir.
hello.
Sir.
Hello.
Hi sir.
Is there any question from participants?
I request to please mute all participants. Subir sir, I am audible? ও স্যার হেডফোনটা আনপ্লাগ করে কথা বলছি, হেডফোনটা খুলে কথা বলুন, সম্ভবত হেডফোনটা কম্পিউটার থেকে খুলে নিন। হ্যাঁ মোবাইল থেকে।
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ শোনা যাচ্ছে।
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
বলুন স্যার।
হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে। এবার আমরা ফাইনাল সেশন, ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ সেশন। If there is any question from participants, please connect Piku madam for the final session.
দীপক স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে?
Now, please ask Piku madam to conclude. If there is no question from the participants, let us conclude. Go for vote of thanks.
যদি থাকে ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ সেশনে যদি কিছু কোশ্চেন থাকে তাহলে জিজ্ঞাসা করুন। পিকু তো আছে অনলাইনে? হ্যাঁ পিকু নেই, পিকু ম্যাডাম?
ম্যাডাম নেই।
হ্যালো
ম্যাডামের প্রোফাইল পাচ্ছি না।
Now in interactive session, if there is
তুমি মোবাইল থেকে করে দাও, মোবাইল থেকে। হ্যাঁ
হ্যালো স্যার,
ওর আবার আউট অফ হয়ে গেছে। হ্যাঁ হ্যালো,
সে কেউ কোশ্চেন করবে দেখুন। ইয়েস মিস্টার কৌশিক।
হ্যাঁ পিকু ম্যাডাম করবেন। পিকু ম্যাডামের তো ইয়ে হয়েছে। কেউ যদি কোশ্চেন করে জিজ্ঞাসা করো অডিয়েন্স। Principal sir is requested to ask to the audience if any their question also.
ask sir.
Yes, I am Kosik. Please.
Okay. So my question is, what do the parents can do for their child for learning in school during COVID? For children, what can we do the parents for their children during COVID? Sure, am I audible?
Principal sir, one participant has asked you one question.